Hello and a big welcome to TIO Stadium. It's preliminary final day, season 2015-2016, and it pits St Mary's up against Southern District. Southern District's the minor premiers, St Mary's grand finalists last year. They're playing for the right to take on Wanderers in a grand final next week. What a game in front of us. Promises to be a beauty. Jared Eiler's been keeping a close eye on it all year. We're excited about this one.
Absolutely. There's no tomorrow for these two teams, and in fact they match up pretty well. But one of the greatest elements of this game is the two spearheads, Will Farah and Darren Ewing.
Wow, that'll be at both ends of the ground. But what about in the midfield? That's where this game's going to be won, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know Justin Wilson, Carl Load are dominant players for St Mary's, but also Matty Pine and Matt Rosier as well through the midfield for Southern Districts.
So we're saying Southern District's minor premiers, they might be a little disappointed that they're here because their game last week not that impressive, but they tell us today they're ready for this one. Meanwhile, St Mary's stop-start season just seem to have found the right formula at the end of the season.
Absolutely. I think they're going to be well off for the last few games. They've had a horrid injury run, but the last few games they've been able to build some momentum. But really looking forward to this. Should go down to the wire. Tipping St Mary's, obviously, Charlie, but I think we're pretty close.
Well, stand by for the preliminary final for the winner, a spot in the grand final against the Eagles next week. Yes, and stand by for it. The teams are out there on the ground. Jackson Geary there with the orange boots on. We're watching Clark there, Raf Clark having a shot for goal for St Mary's. They look formidable, Saints, as formidable as I've seen them for many, many weeks this year. They seem to be just about right for this game. They're probably short of one or two players, but they've come to this game finely tuned. At the other end of the scale, we look at Southern District at the other end of the ground having some shots at goal. They'll be hoping that their big full forward, who kicked 108 goals this year so far, can kick goals from today, Will Farah. Keegan Dingo's got a fire up for them, and they've got to get a big game out of Jared Brennan as well. They are the minor premiers, as we said there in the opener. They can come into this game putting last week's disappointment aside and saying, don't measure us against that. That's the word from Shannon Rusker. We're not, that's just not a true reflection of what we are as a team. You'll see us today as the best we can be. That's what he told me a little earlier today. Jared Eiler, we're looking at him. Teams go into a huddle. You've been there many, many times yourself for the green and gold. What are they talking about in those huddles?
Yeah, look, Charlie, obviously the start is going to be red hot in the midfield. I'm expecting very big clashes of bodies out there. It's going to be physical, but I think just as high, the intensity is going to be up and the skill level is going to be up. So very excited about this game. It's been talked about all week, Charlie. It's been built up pretty highly. You're right, we didn't see the best of Southern Districts last week. I think they were a little bit undisciplined at the back end of the game. St Mary's have brought in Raf Clark and Anthony Long, so two pretty handy players there. And Jake Rowe-Duggan comes in for Southern Districts.
Who gets the job on Will Farah? He can win a match off his own boot, the big full forward for Southern Districts.
Yeah, Anthony Long might be the matchup for him, but it's going to take more than one defender to stop Will Farah if Crocs are going to get on top of St Mary's through the midfield. So obviously Rick Nolan through the week would have trained and planned and come up with a structure to combat that. But it's going to be more than one player to stop Will Farah, I reckon.
And Jared Brennan, his influence is massive, isn't it?
Well, he was their better player. He was their best player last week. He from start to finish, he was well and truly dominant through the midfield. We know he's a quality player, AFL experience. He's got a booming left foot, can play in the right, can play down back, can play forward. So I don't think they need to tag him, but they obviously need to be pretty wary.
It'll be a mighty game of football. St Mary's, good players everywhere. See Rioli out on the wing there. Good to see him, Ben Rioli. Love to see him playing on the wing. I think Turner will probably go to him, and that'll be a great matchup. Two speedsters on the wing.
Absolutely, and that's where these two teams have sort of struggled to match it with Wanderers. So obviously Wanderers won last week, gone straight through the grand final, have a week off, but one of their key strengths is their speed, and this is where we're going to find out where these two teams have recruited pretty well, and we see some physical stuff happen already in the Crocs forward line, targeting Anthony Long.
So Daniel Lewis to do the ruck work for the Saints. He'll be asked to do it all day today. He gets up there and he gets a super tap down out of the middle. Pack forms all around it straight away, and the umpire has to come in for a secondary ball up. It's going to be that sort of game earlier on. Who gets the first kick at the preliminary final? Here's a tap from the middle again, knocked out wide. lands on the ground, still no one with a kick yet. Daniel Lewis goes to ground. In fact, it might have been Geary, it is. So Geary's going to get the first kick, or will he use a hand pass? He doesn't. He's going to kick. He plays on. He's going to use the hand pass. He sends it out wide, gives it to Jack Long, gets onto the trusty old left boot. Wilson, a target under the footy. One hand out of it. The St Mary's vice-captain just couldn't control it. Spilled away from him and went to the boundary line.
And already we see Ben Long, who's starting obviously on a back flank on Matt Canner, but he's just drifting and pushing forward, similar to a role what Thomas Motlop did last week for Wanderers.
McLaughlin got the job on Wilson. Lewis out in front, got the tap down, did pretty well. Southern Districts, they got some menace about them in the early stages of the game. They ran from defence, couldn't get the kick away. It was a turnover. Saints win it. Handball back in here. Off the left boot they come. Good kick forward there by Jack Williams. Down towards the half-forward line, cut off in defence. Great mark taken. Keegan Dingo spears it out wide and sets it up for some clearance work deep in defence for Southern Districts.
And he was quiet last week, Keegan Dingo, so he's one that's going to have to lift his game for his team if they're going to get the result.
Rosier onto the left boot, swings it up toward the wing. It's a good kick. Finds McGough. McGough on the right boot, sends it deep in the forward line. Big climb at the back. Almost got the mark there. It was James Wall. Went to ground. Gee, it was a good entry by Southern Districts. Saints under early pressure. They use the handball out to Geary. Geary cool under the pressure. Kicks it upfield. That's a great kick. Finds Shannon Rioli on the charge. He's out on the wing, Shannon Rioli. Gee, I was impressed with Saints, I must tell you, last week. They really turned the corner. Rick Nolan, I spoke to him earlier today, and he's just thrilled with his team. He reckons they're very good. 50-metre penalty here, and that's because you can't tackle the player until the umpire says play on. If the player steps either way, you have to wait for play on before you can put a tackle on.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably a little bit technical there, but we haven't seen this from St Mary's in the starts of their games. Carlo took the mark and was looking to play on as soon as possible, and that's something that's been lacking in their games this season.
He can drive the first goal on the board for St Mary's. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. He goes back, he lines up, he pumps it goal, and he bangs it home, and Saints get the first goal off the trusty boot of Carlo.
Yeah, great goal. Just needed to steady the ship within the first 3 minutes of the game to have a shot on goal and actually convert. Just psychologically helps your team and just puts a little bit more pressure on the opposition.
Now he sprints off once he kicked the goal. Now when I was playing, I remember the first game I played, they said, as soon as you kick a goal, Charlie, come off. I never came off. I was on all day. I was on for a fortnight. Do you reckon that's a rule? If you kick a goal, you come off?
Yeah, well, it's obviously the longest break in play. When the goal is kicked, the umpire's obviously got to work the ball back to the centre ground.
And I'm really pleased to see Guy Orton playing today. I did not want him dropped from this Saints side because he is what this club is all about. Here's the scramble kick forward. It's a rolling ball. Lets him out there wearing number 23. Keep an eye on him today. He's a very good player. Underestimated in my book. Here's Geary getting another touch. He's got plenty of it already. Spears it up the half forward. Mark taken there. Handball back to the running player going forward. Might be Cooper. Gets around players, wheels one way and then the other. Now he's back on the left boot, then on the right boot. He doesn't know where he's going, Justin Cooper. He knows where the goals are. They're the big sticks at the other end there. Ball tapped back in play. Ralph Clark a chance, gives the handball out here. Snapshot for Saints, and they've got another one.
He snuck that one through, Charlie. Didn't quite go as high as he would have hoped. Jack Williams is the goal kicker, and the defence just falling asleep there on that occasion. Very lucky goal to St Mary's.
Well, they had a 4-quarter sleep, I reckon, last week, Southern Districts. They'd want to get out of that slumber in a hurry. Saints have come at them hard here in the first couple of minutes. In fact, 4 minutes gone, and Saints have got 2 big ones on the board already.
And again, we saw Peter McFarlane. He was on the ground and he handballed the ball to Justin Cooper. So that quick play, not taking the extra sort of 5 to 10 seconds to get up, push back off the mark. It's a big key for them. Play on it very quickly.
The Geary again getting involved in the middle. Umpire's going to come in to ball it up. If you didn't get us earlier on, it was a win to Waratahs in the women's competition. They've made it 5 in a row. They beat Wanderers, who were going for their first. They beat them 6-14 to 4-8. It was a good game of footy. Abby Holmes won best on ground medal. From the middle now, wheeling around, Matt Rosier sends it forward. Here comes Will Farrer, hard at the footy. Whoa, it's easy when you got the charging forward like Will Farrer, and the channel opened in front of him.
Absolutely, the fat side, Charlie. Matthew Rosier able to swing around onto his left boot, and he's got some pretty good skills, and just kicked it to space, allowed Will Farrer to run into it.
And Farrers, he's playing on Iggy Vallejo. That's the man that Nolan's put on him, so he's definitely got the pace advantage there.
Good on you, Kieran. Thanks for that. I was just going to get down to you. We'll get to you in a second. Here's Iggy Vallejo straight out in front. Will Farrer gets hold of it. He gives it a real old roost. He tried to kick it too hard. Minor score is the result. Conditions out there. Kieran, give us your report.
Well, the 7 p.m. time slot's always my favourite, not just because it's a lot cooler for me, but definitely better for the players to play in. In the women's grand final, we saw there were gusty winds in the mid part of that game, but they've really died off now. Not really a goal advantage either way.
Lewis High takes the mark. Clever mark too over McGregor. He's on half-back. Out towards the wing he comes. Hit Cooper when he had his back turned. Handball was very, very good. They linked it up and he can run forward here. The busy Michael Coombs. Spearing kick down here. Oh, he's waiting back there was Darren Ewing. It didn't come to him. And he need not do that today. He can go looking for the footy. A little kick comes back in, knocked away straight into the hands there of the busy player in Herbison. Paper Talk, good kick. Finds Jared Brennan inside 50. Paper Talk dangerous. Brennan even more so.
And you have to hit those targets when you go forward on a turnover like that. Obviously, St. Mary's controlling the ball, trying to bring the ball through the midfield with linking up with some hands. Turn the ball over. That's where you're going to catch out the defence.
So here he is kicking at goal. That's a better looking kick. He says to Will Farrer, that's how you kick them. And Jared Brennan kicks the goal.
Yeah, great work by Paper Talk. Just it wasn't a pretty kick, but it was effective. Had to hit the target, and Jared Brennan doesn't miss.
Kieran, give us a report on the crowd there. What are they like?
Yeah, it's definitely good. It was good for the women's grand final. It's just built from there. Probably more people on the Southern District side of the ground than St. Mary's, but a great crowd. Probably in the couple thousand, 2,000 or 3,000. Definitely brilliant crowd to watch this kind of game.
Well, it's going to be a beauty. It's the preliminary final, one of the big finals matches, because so much on offer, so much for the winner and nothing for the loser. You go home with absolutely nothing, and you can sit there for a couple of weeks after and wonder what went wrong. So you can't be worrying about it after the game. You've got to really put it on during the game, is what the coaches would be saying to them. From the middle, tap down there for Southern Districts. They didn't quite get it. Merging with the footy was Michael Coombs. Kicked down towards the forward line. Dingo went to ground, left the ball behind. Ewing gets it onto the left boot. He goes for goal, bangs away. Darren Ewing, give him a sniff, and he kicks a goal, and he's done it just then.
Great snap, and as soon as he kicked it, he knew that was going over. But what was interesting is the play or the attention from Robert Copeland afterwards. So there's a bit of niggle in this game, Charlie. Who's going to be disciplined enough?
Now, there's a player on the ground there. Jared, can you see who it is? It's St. Mary's player is on the ground, up at half forward.
Might be Mikey Coombe. No, he's in the midfield.
Now, the umpire really, he's just going to throw this ball up, which with an injured player on the ground is probably not the best decision, I don't think. They really should have communicated the umpire then. That St. Mary's player is still on the ground. He might need some assistance down there. He might need stretcher assistance.
No, he's on his feet now, Charlie.
Oh, well, that's good enough news.
Play goes on.
Here's Coombs on half-back. Wins the kick out towards McFarlane, front position. And the skipper takes the mark. Got the handball away to the deputy vice-captain. Or vice-captain, rather. And the kick up towards half-forward, and they get in the way. Good strong mark in defence down here by Jack Long.
The matchups for Southern Districts in regards to height is going to be one of their key strengths for the game, if they can work it around and make sure they get the right matchup.
Jack Long, Herbison on the charge. It's out in front of him. He can't pick it up. They get to him. He loses it. Hard out of defence comes Southern Districts. St. Mary's on the turn-up. Get it. The hurried kick lands in the hands of Christian Paper Talk. He's that small forward and he's that small defender as well. He kicked it nicely and gave it off to Duffy. Duffy from half-back stretches it even further across half-back. Runners everywhere here for Districts now out towards the wing. Michael Bowden, one of them, gets the bouncing ball. Onto the left boot he goes. The grandson of the great Mike Bowden, premiership player with Richmond all those years ago, cleaning up Iggy Vallejo, brother of the great Anthony Vallejo. I saw him today. I said, they want you to play today. He said, go away, leave me alone. Here's Carl Load, has it out on the wing. Out to that man who's busy already. Good work, Geary up towards half forward. Shannon Rioli there. Didn't land in his hand.
Bowden again.
Bowden's kick is good. Measures nicely, finds Cannard. Like you won a Nichols medal, although you won more than one. Little kick over the top. Nichols medal tomorrow night in Darwin.
You're emceeing, Charlie. Looking forward to that.
It'll be good. And I don't think you or Cannard will come into contention, I must say, no. Jared, with apologies. You just had the one game.
Yeah, correct.
You might need more than just the 3 votes for that. So the ball spills out wide here. So they clean up Southern Districts through McGregor. And across the half-back line they go. All Saints here. Geary, who's had a great start to the game. Wilson got the block for him. Geary goes to ground. Wilson dives over the top and holds it up.
It's a pretty good result for Saints in the end because they were outnumbered and obviously Districts were controlling the football. It was 4-on-2. Good stoppage for Saints.
Well, I thought Wilson did terrifically well in there. He could see that they were outnumbered and he dived over the player to get there. Kick came in. Shannon Rioli onto the rebound. Gets it at 50. Gets a chance to check the distance. Goes with the radar. Bangs away at goal. Misses off to the left. He had plenty of time then, Shannon Rioli. And he missed it to the left. Minor score.
He did. He has a habit of actually just pulling the kick at the last second. He's normally a beautiful kick of the football. But I'll go back to Southern Districts. Their work rate at the moment and how they're running on the 45s and gut running is pretty impressive at the moment. They just need to get some more return for their hard work.
Peter McFarlane, skipper takes a mark, centre half forward. Wants Wilson, he's under the footy, they closed on him, he's going to get the free kick. He was the only one going for the ball, and Dean Staunton, the opposite number 1, ran straight at him, took him out of the contest, and it's right that Justin Wilson should get the free kick.
Yeah, just a little bit overzealous. Wilson was in the box seat. It was a good kick by Peter McFarlane. Actually, good mark and kick by Peter McFarlane. Wilson handballs to Rioli for a second shot at goal.
And he's done it again. I wouldn't give it to him. He pulls it to the left, as you had said he does often. Wilson might have found the distance just a little bit too testy.
Yeah, I think so. Although early in the game, Charlie, I'll be having a crack at it.
The umpire has ruled what? Did he kick over the mark? Oh, no. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. Because you don't have to wait till the umpire starts waving the flag, do you? Once the point's kicked off, you go. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, the ball's gone back into the goal square. So the kick here, Wilson stays down and just went all over the top, and the mark was taken back there by Jack Williams. He's had a good start to the game. Clark underneath it takes the mark. Raf Clark, terrific.
Yeah, I think the kick was originally, the intention of the kick was originally for Darren Ewing, but Raf Clark reading the play pretty well, in front position, juggling the mark.
Tucked in the pocket. Explosive start from Saints here, and if he kicks this one, it'll be even more explosive. Raf Clark kicks to the near side and misses. They've been inaccurate, Saints, before. They do worry about it. It's been a problem for them, and that was not a good miss. Well, it was not a good shot at goal. It was a bad miss. So Southern Districts to bring it in now. And nobody's touched that. Has anyone touched that?
He did
Southern
play
Districts
onto
might have got there.
himself.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a throw in. Ball was close to the boundary line. That's a challenge for Full Blacks, isn't it? You know, you want to get where it's going to be difficult if the opposition get it, so you go close to the boundary line.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes it carries over. Wilson, hard for the footy. His second man back, he couldn't get it. Districts with the clean up. They can go forward there. Out wide now, and the little kick up towards the wing.
The work rate's been really good, Southern Districts, in this type of play. The last kick into the forward line, which has let them down.
Oh, that was a clever handball, wasn't it? And the kick down to Brennan as front position was a terrific kick from Hamilton. And some good hard running through the middle there. Umpire lets this go on. Saints on the clean up. Kick's going to come high up towards the wing here and go out of bounds. No, it's not bounds. It's right on the line. And now it's out of bounds with James Wall, who had that good chase a minute ago. The big ruckman.
The matchups, Charlie, are proving difficult for St. Mary's. We saw Ben Long on Jared Brennan, and that's not a matchup that Rick Nolan would want.
And Wall there ran all the way back with his back to the boundary umpire. You shouldn't do that as a ruckman. You've got to keep your eye on who's got it. Kick down towards the forward line. And the clean-up comes from McLaughlin, comes away off the back pocket, goes out wide with the kick. It's a nice one too, delivers nicely. Got it out there to McGough. It's the old run around, a bouncing ball for him. Norton gets back towards Michael Bowden. Bowden off the left boot, pumps it up forward of the wing on the scoreboard side. Punch from the back for St Mary's, lands on the ground, gathered in this time by Hamilton, sends it up forward for Cannard, couldn't pick it up. Saints on the clean up out to Geary's been terrific in the start, bangs it with the left boot out wide.
And we'll start again.
And even Cooper couldn't get there. Well, it went right around in a big circle and came back to where it was. You're absolutely right.
Although Geary, he's had plenty of the football. He did have Jack Long streaming out from the back pocket on his left foot, should have handballed.
Tap down, Brennan runs into Geary, grabs him high. Umpire says it's all okay. Spillage to Williams off the left boot, spears it up to Cooper. Cooper couldn't get it. Second effort wasn't good enough. He couldn't get there to help his teammate Shannon Rioli. Now he's there for the mop up. This time he does better. Spears forward.
Oh, brilliant.
And terrific kick to Ewing on the charge. There's nothing you can do when you get gilt-edged delivery like that.
He is one of the best small forwards, Justin Cooper, and he just proved his worth. Not only can he kick goals on his right, but he can hit a target on his left foot as well.
What's his story? Where's he from, Jared?
I want to say Maningrida, but you've stopped me again.
Well, I'm going there on Monday. I'll ask him. It's Darren Ewing. He's on a 45-degree angle. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. Look at that. That's how you kick goals. He's got two. He's in for a big night, I reckon, which sounds the bell of warning for Southern Districts here. If Ewing's on fire, then it's going to make it that much harder for the opposition.
Yeah, well, the skill, Southern District skill area at the moment is just not quite on song. They're certainly running to the right spots. They're certainly running in waves, and they're making the opposition number have to chase them when they've got the football. But that last kick, that last handball's not quite hitting the target, and it's costing them.
Coombs and Mark McLean come on. Coming off for a West is Williams and Ben Rioli. I jump in the middle that time. Was Jack Musgrave, so he's doing the extra ruck work for Saints. Kick down here to Cooper again, got on that left boot. Kick was good. Wilson was his target. Wilson goes over the top, bouncing ball towards Ewing. Ewing tried to kick it over his head. Didn't quite work for him. Dingo on the clean-up had to concede in the end.
Ewing had to attack that football then. He just couldn't have waited for it to bounce over.
Now I reckon a St Mary's player, was the St Mary's player decked behind play? I think there's going to be a relayed free kick here. St Mary's player decked over in the corner in the back pocket, and the umpire says no, that's not on, and he's awarded a free kick to Raphael Clark directly out in front. So Raff, a chance to make up for his miss from a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, well, we've seen it from both sides. There's a bit of pushing and shoving. Raff comes in for the goal, and we don't expect him to miss, and he doesn't. So that's a very undisciplined act and very costly, obviously.
Have they blasted out of the box or what? St Mary's either kicked 5 goals to 1. Darren Ewing 2, Carl Load 1, Raph Clark 1, Jack Williams 1. I spoke to Rick Nolan earlier today. I said, how important is it to get a start? He said, it's absolutely essential to get a good start. They've got the good start.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. Dean Staunton being brought into the midfield. He's quite a handy player at ground level and will just run and run all day.
So Lewis just jumped high. Thought about grabbing that for a minute. Coombs got the handball away. Lewis wanted a bit more of it, couldn't get it. In there goes Marcus Hamilton, couldn't get his hands on the footy. Spinning out with the ball was Christian Papertalk. Went wide with it. And now Southern Districts can take it deep in their forward line. Jumping over the top was Will Farrer. He didn't get to it. The kick was okay going in there from Staunton. Handball came out, still left on the ground there. Staunton goes down to try, rather, and Marcus Hamilton goes to lend an assist down there. Saints equal to the task. The hurried kick from Iggy Vallejo's gone out of bounds on the full.
Yep, great forward line pressure by Southern Districts. Marcus Hamilton and Dean Staunton start to have an impact on this game for Southern Districts.
Here's Staunton. Where's Will Farrer? Jack Long with the job on him, as you suggested. Kick to the pocket. Farrer goes in that direction. Gets high. Long did pretty well to knock it to the boundary line. Kick off the ground from right on the boundary line, got to Lewis.
Good switch.
And they've switched it out wide. Now the Saints can clear from here. Geary on the big charge. Gets out there a long way in front of Christian Papertalk. Gets to the wing with the handball. Goes searching for Labastida, Henry Labastida, spearing it forward, kept it a little low, didn't get the distance he wanted on it. Ball left on the ground. Clean up back there. Bowden did pretty good. Gave the handball off to Carter. Carter comes away with a kick to the wing. Finds paper talk. Short kick forward. Mark taken there by Rosier.
Yeah, the kick by Labastida, he had a lot of space in front of them. Should have ran and carried and had a few bounces, but it was a poor kick.
Barra from back gets there, takes the mark, and then loses it when he hits the ground. Now, would umpires be more, would they rule more difficultly on someone like Farah for dropping a mark like that, rather if it was me or you or the ruckman? Marked it, went to ground, hit the ground, it fell out. I'd be saying, sir, that's a mark for me.
Yeah, like you said, it all happens so quick. Whatever Will Farah does, it's at lightning pace. But play went on. The umpire was there on the spot.
This looks like Randall, I reckon, from outside 50. Pops it up high. Jared Brennan is there, held hold of him, and he's going to get the free kick. Now he plays on and goes in, hits the post. Should have went back and had the kick. Well, it's good in hindsight. And he's a great player.
But he is the danger man up forward, and obviously he spent a lot of time through the midfield last weekend against Wanderers, and there's no one that can match up on him at the moment. So when you've got Will Farah taking a fair bit of pressure and attention away from Jared Brennan, it's a good structural matchup that Shannon Rusker, the coach for Southern Districts, has implemented.
Let's see what Kieran's got for us. Kieran.
Farah, I think he's moved to Brennan now, especially after Brennan's had a couple of big impacts on this quarter.
Okay. Long to bring this ball back in. Where's he going to go? He's going to come out this side with the Morris Rioli stand, and he did pretty well. He put it where he wanted it, Mitch Herbison. Ball right at the 50-metre line. Brennan with a handball over the top.
Nice
and
kick.
That kick was a beauty, wasn't it? The speared by Rosier, and he's found Cannard.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to, he could have given the handball, but it looked like he was going to swing onto his left foot and have a shot at goal, but he just saw Kennard at the last second lowered the kick.
And Carter did some work in there as well. So Kennard, most experienced player. He's carried an injury for some time. In the twilight of his career, said before, a Nichols medalist, ABC Player of the Year, been around forever. He's a gentleman of the game. He's been a skipper of this team. He kicks at goal and he doesn't let him down, and nor should he. Quality player kicks the goal.
Yeah, there wasn't too many scoring opportunities for him last week, Matt Kennard, so he'd be pretty happy getting on the scoreboard early in the first quarter. And again, we see both teams trying to get the upper hand in the physicality side of things. There's a lot of niggle going on. Yes, there's no tomorrow, but you also don't want to be suspended.
Well, I'll tell you who the culprit was in all of that. It was Ben Rioli to Kennard after he kicked the goal and must have said something that Kennard didn't like, and then they come from everywhere.
Oh, I love the confidence of the young players.
I'll go and pick on the most experienced player and tell him a thing or two. From the middle, ball grabbed there by Staunton, couldn't emerge with it. This comes out wide. Finishes in the hand there of Staunton from Matt Duffy, who did the hard work. Down towards the 50-metre line. Good punch at the back, was really well done. Back there in defence by Ben Rioli. St Mary's still building here. They're closing the game down when they can. Tackle there on Labastida holds him up.
I think Southern Districts have done pretty well to close down the game. It was sort of one-way traffic there. St Mary's getting a lot of free blowing football, but Districts have worked their way back into it, and it's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment.
Out wide to Labastida. Kick forward. Shannon Rioli out there. Gets to it. Shannon Rioli. Bowden on the chase. Rioli found a little bit of space. Got it down towards the forward line. Cooper with it. Cooper running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Goes to the top of the goal square. Ewing takes the mark in the square, and Ewing tells the umpire where he should be having the shot from. And whilst they're looking, that was Copeland. He went in and kicked the goal. The umpire said, "That is not fair. Now go and get that ball and go back and kick it properly when I tell you," or words to that effect.
Yeah, and the again, just a turn of pace from Shannon Rioli up the ground to start that forward movement. Handball into space to Justin Cooper, and he just looks dangerous tonight in not only getting a lot of possessions, but everything he does is very effective.
Yeah. Ewing and Cooper.
Correct.
They've just... Southern Districts have no answer for either of them. Ewing's about to kick his third, and it's only the first quarter. Sets it up in the top of the Michael Long stand, went right over the roof into the courtyard back there. Michael, well, they won't be very, Michael Solomon won't be very happy with that.
Well, Michael Long's got there's probably 50 footballs back there now at the end of the season.
Michael Barfoot's probably gone to get it out
right.
for the poor old Michael. Anyway, let's get back to the game because another goal to Ewing. He's got 3. He's in for a big night. I was going to ask you earlier on who will kick more goals today, Farah or Ewing. It's a wasted question right now.
Yeah, look, like we say, it comes down to the midfield. Who's going to get the upper hand? And then we see Brennan brought in there to get some supply to the forward line.
What about Lewis? His rucking has been superb, hasn't
He
it?
has just been a diamond in the rough for St Mary's. They've struggled with obviously Ryan Smith out with a long-term injury, but he's since coming across from Nightcliff. He's just been a jack in the box, jumping at everything, taking everything.
He's the best small ruckman in the comp, isn't he?
Absolutely.
He's the equal of anyone. He takes the big guys on whenever he gets the chance. He's afraid of nothing. Watch him here, number 32. Gets there and then he tries to do the roving work as well. He's not sure what he is, but he's a good player. Saints enjoy him. Orton in there looking for it, held up. Some good work there by McGough. Brings the quarter to an end. What a dominant one from Saints. 6-4 to 2-3. Super quarter from Southern Districts.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, a red-hot game, Charlie. We weren't expecting that start from St Mary's. They were just on to everything. They were looking to play on at all costs. Quick handballs, quick kicks moving forward. Some of their players was Geary. Cooper has just been on fire, and Ewing up forward as well. And for Southern Districts, I think their work rate's there. They're just not getting the return that they probably deserve. And Brennan, again, he's been the most dangerous player on the ground for Southern Districts. He started forward. He's kicked a goal, but they've had to bring him into the midfield. I think Matt Rosier and also Marcus Hamilton have done some pretty good stuff for Districts.
So it's a good game. Just give us your thoughts on Ewing's performance in that quarter and Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're lining up to be the most dangerous forward line players for St Mary's, and as long as the supply can keep coming in and they've got some space, there's not too many defenders that can go with them.
So at quarter time here, Saints showing how they're going to approach this game. Full on attack. 6-4 they lead Districts 2-3. Darren Ewing's got 3.
Weather is part of life in the Territory. It's unpredictable when it comes and in what it leaves behind. That's why Territorians need the right insurance cover for their home and contents. Local knowledge is important. Talk to TIO about Territory home insurance for Territory conditions. So before it happens, call 131 TIO or visit tiofi.com.au. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business. Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
My housemate woke me up to ask where my car was. Turns out we left the front door unlocked. Someone helped themselves.
Protect yourself against crime. A momentary lapse is all it takes, even if you are home.
It's pure chance. It's quicker to steal keys than hotwire a car. People make it easy and leave keys, bags and wallets laying around with unlocked doors.
Don't be the one to get caught out. A community announcement by TIO, Crime Stoppers and the National Motor Vehicle Theft Reduction Council.
The advantage is all yours during Bridge Toyota's Buyer's Advantage, like Corolla Ascent Hatch Automatic from a low $21,990 drive away, and 2015 Hilux Workmate Single Cab Chassis 4x2 from just $24,990 drive away, or 2015 Hilux SR 4x4 Dual Cab from $45,990 drive away. And every Toyota comes with Bridge Toyota's lifetime of advantages. Offer is limited, so hurry into Bridge Toyota today.
Bridge Toyota, number one.
So players make their way back out here. We'll get down to Kieran Davis in just a moment. Kieran, in fact, we'll go to him now. Kieran?
Rick Nolan, he was very impressed with that quarter. He really encouraged the pressure they put and the fumbles they made Southern Districts commit. He was very particular about how they should enter the forward line, especially the fact that they often leapfrogged Raphael Clark and went straight to Boof. He said they should look down, if Raph Clark is open, give it to him because he's a very valuable member of the forward line. And also coming out of the middle, put it on your boot as quickly as possible, get it down into the forward line and put some pressure on the District's defenders.
Good on you, Kieran. Good advice from Rick Nolan. He's just fine-tuning all the time. They're comfortably in front here, Jarrett, 6-4 to 2-2.
And why he wants to do that, Charlie, is because Keegan Dingo is matched up on Raph Clark, and he doesn't want Keegan Dingo to be able to zone off, play his game, because he's one of the best readers of play. And if he's allowed to zone off, he can stop most of the forward entries.
Okay, so that's wise words from the coach. Umpire's waiting for a signal of some sort.
Yeah, you get the young fella off the field, I think. No one's clicked onto it.
Now he goes. Now he's clearly off. He was in no rush.
No, he was all right.
He was having a stroll. He just had a kick out there. He's a little knocked up.
Catching his breath. We can get on with business.
Let's see how it goes. Keep an eye on that ruckman we've been talking about, Daniel Lewis. Can he give them first use of the footy here? He's going to jump against Wall. He gets there. He does it beautifully again. Brennan Red at best got his hands on it. Didn't get it. Geary got a bit of it. It was Labastida with the scramble kick forward. Bowden got to the footy, knocked it out in front of him. Tried to pick it up second time, didn't get it. Third was good. Went to ground, couldn't get it. Umpire says play on. Kick along the boundary line for Southern Districts towards Labastida. It rolls away over the boundary line.
Very impressed with Zane Carter on that occasion. He came in to put a block on, which allowed Michael Bowden a clear run at the footy because he had Shannon Rioli right on his tail, but he backed it up with a second effort to get the ball further up the ground.
Of course, Bowden is the nephew of Joel Bowden.
Very famous football name, territory football name.
260 odd games with the Tigers. Kick forward. Raph Clark knocked it to ground. Cooper. Raph Clark with the bump there. Body bump on Dingo. Didn't bother Dingo too much. Someone gave Dingo a little bit of a bump there. He didn't like it. Was McLean. So he gave him a little bump back. It all goes on in the footy, doesn't it? Paper talk with the job on McLean.
Especially in a prelim final, Charlie.
We haven't gone out there to make friends. Wall is there. Got the kick off the ground. Labastida front position. Dives at the footy. Comes up with it to the squirrel. Oh, he just couldn't get away with it. He burrowed in there and he got hold of it. Labastida did really well.
Copped a pretty heavy knock as well.
Alice Springs player, and he's as tough as. They love him down there. They always tell me they watch the game and he's playing, and they say, he's an Alice Springs player, that fella. They remind me about it. Handball was good. Gave it off to Anthony Long. Out wide to Labastida.
Another Alice Springs player, Matt Rosier.
Off the left boot he goes. Good kick by Rosier across to half forward. Cut off there by St Mary's. Strong mark in defence taken down there. That was Herbison, was it?
Parnell.
Parnell, rather. Here's Parnell. Little kick. Geary drops it a little short for him. Made it difficult too. They've stolen it. They'll come away with it. Roe Duggan kicks it out wide. And he finds the busy player out there in Glenn Randall.
I mean, to make the most of this forward entry.
He's going to find Farah.
And Brennan.
Got Brennan, rather. So Farah was gone upfield, but Brennan just goes straight across and gives it off to Hamilton, who just goes back and said thanks. And just nonchalantly, if you like, kicks the goal.
Yeah, it all comes back to the Parnell kick. It was a good mark that he intercepted, but the kick to Geary just was not on, drop short. Obviously, it allowed all the half-back line to push forward. Southern District's able to get the turnover and catch St Mary's unguard.
He pulled the kick because he saw there was a player behind him, didn't he? That he didn't want to go over his head, and he misjudged it, and it dropped far too short. So they got an early goal here. They've halved St Mary's score, 6-4 to 3-2.
Marcus Hamilton gets some reward for his hard work in the first quarter with the goal.
Why I've put that down for the third quarter, I don't know. Kick up to
Ahead of yourself, Charlie.
Yeah. His paper talk, he overran the footy. Handball comes back in. That's a great mark.
Right at the height, the pinnacle of the ball.
And 50, let's see. Absolutely has to be 50, doesn't it? Surely. Why would that not be 50? Why would that not be 50, Jared? That's a ridiculous decision.
If the players come around and infringed Will Farah, that is 50 metres.
Farah standing with the ball in his hand, he's taking a mark. An opposition player runs past, knocks the ball out of his hand. That's a 50-metre penalty on any day of the week.
That is an interesting run-up.
And Farah, I don't know, started out to swung around to the right and was lucky to get it behind in the end.
He started out to the left, he took one step to the right, and he's pulled the kick back to the left. So I haven't seen that from him all season. He's obviously kicked over 100 goals.
Now there's the blood rule.
And he's a sharp shooter. I've never seen him do that kind of run up when he's having a shot at goal.
What is all that about? Kieran, what have you got for us, mate?
Yeah, there's a blood rule, trying to pick up which player it is.
Brennan's off, isn't he? It's not Brennan.
Yeah, I don't think it's Brennan. I think he was whoever was about to take the kick for St Mary's. Might have been Carl Lode.
Okay, he's directly down in front of us, but play's allowed to go on now. So Iggy loads up what was intended to be a torp, turned into a pretty good drop punt. Handball across to Paper Talk. Handball out wide here. Getting involved out there was Duffy. And that kick goes right across into the hands there of McGough.
Matt Rosa getting some of the football now and being really effective with his kicks.
Ball there, and Orton doing some great work back there. Kick right across the face of goal, goes through for a minor score. Orton did well there to keep, I think it was Farah out of the game, or out of the danger zone, and they were only able to come away with a minor score.
St Mary's finding it hard to get an effective kick out here. Vallejo kicked the ball about 70 metres, and he's almost hit that mark again, but they haven't been able to get the ball out of this contest.
Gee, that's a good mark there. If it's paid, that's Ben Long,
Play on.
says the umpire. He got second grab balls on the ground. Village comes out to Cooper. Now he goes away. Has a bounce, has a look upfield, can take another bounce. He's running very wide. Steps back in play. Did well, gave the handball off to McLean. Punches from the wing up towards half forward. Dingo with the punch. Gets to Wilson. Wilson goes high kick. He's got Raf Clark all by himself. Takes the mark, wants to play on. They'll get to him. Kicks the goal. Oh, he's a classy player. Raf Clark. Oh, it was a beauty, Jared.
He was almost in two minds. He didn't know whether to try and fend off his opposition player or kick the goal, and he had a crack at it, and it dribbled through nicely. And that's the example of what I was saying before. Keegan Dingo come off Raf Clark to nullify the contest. Even though he made the punch, Justin Wilson was front and centre and able to get the ball forward into space, which allowed Raf Clark to run into.
Cooper terrific as well.
Again, just that turn of pace out of the packs is proving a pretty key element for St Mary's at the moment.
Good footy match, Kieran, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd's really getting into a fantastic atmosphere and great game all round.
The Saints now trying to get clear with the footy. Geary got a half kick away. Brennan in there working for the footy, couldn't get it. Free kicks picked out of it. Might be Brennan, I reckon.
Or a throw and Geary.
So Jared Brennan has it in the centre of the ground.
Will Farah and Iggy Villaggio one-on-one with some space if Brennan can get it down that way, but he opts to go wide.
Very, very wide. Tips it down on their half-forward line. Kicked it beautifully, put it straight in the hands of Dean Staunton. Pumps it up long. They want Farah to get involved here. Farah he's just not, he hasn't worked it out yet. I don't think he's having a night where things haven't clicked for him. Saints have done well to hurry the kick out of bounds on the full.
Good pressure there. Marcus Hamilton.
There's Staunton with the resultant free kick. This time next week, that's where you'll see all the Wanderers supporters down that end.
They'll be out in force, Charlie. The third grand final in a row and looking for back-to-back premierships.
Matt Kennard from 50 is going to get 50. Now what happened? Somebody said something. Kieran, can you help us?
Yeah, it might have been a bit of a lip to the umpires, or it might have been that Ben Long maybe wasn't listening to the umpire and didn't step back on his mark. I'm not sure.
But Kennard's got 50, which is going to take him right to the line, and he will kick his second goal for the match.
Yeah, undisciplined. Doesn't matter if you don't agree with the decision or what. Need to man the mark properly. There's another football that goes over the top of the microphone centre. So one for you and I, Charlie, at the end of the game.
Well, didn't they used to have a big net there? Have they still got it?
They still do have the net, but it's not high enough.
They're kicking over the net.
Kicking over the building.
Well, the NTFL said, you know, we have to find some savings. We'll cut the net down to half size. Now the balls are going over it. Goodness me.
But very timely goal for Southern Districts. Matt Kennard making no mistake from the goal square and reduces the margin back to about 3 goals.
Ewing hasn't seen much of it in 9 minutes of this quarter. He's got 3 goals in the first. Williams comes away with it, wants Cooper, front position, strong mark in front of Lionel Ogden. Great defender, Lionel Ogden, but he's been stepped here by Cooper. He's the will-o'-the-wisp, kicks it down to half forward, big fly from the back was McFarlane. He's just getting back into his old form, isn't he, McFarlane?
That's right, the fitness, the match fitness, more importantly, is starting to come back. And his timing. I think the timing over the last 2 or 3 games hasn't been quite there. So he's well and truly better off for the run.
McGregor got the job on him. He's doing okay to this point in the game. Squeeze kick there by Herbertson. Got it down forward. Dingo with the footy. Does the 360. Got away with it. He was lucky. Raf Clark got a handball away. It's a hurried kick into the middle of the ground. Parnell chasing the footy. Didn't get it. Handball came out here for Saints. Out toward Lode. Lode with a handball across to Herbertson at 50. Gets onto the left boot. Bangs it to the goal square.
Oh, no way.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to let you explain that for me. That was extraordinary. We'll have to wait on the result.
They've been watching the Matildas in their quest to get to Rio.
Ewing knows exactly what the result is. The umpires are having a discussion here. Try and explain that for us, Jared.
Well, the defender obviously wanted to try and clear the football out of the danger zone and didn't quite get enough boot to ball. And Ewing, as we've seen already, have a few soccer shots at goal, and we get the resultant goal to Ewing.
So it popped up off the boot of the defender right on the line. Ewing standing there. Somehow he got his boot up to it, and he must have been millimetres from the line when he touched it, and it's gone over for a goal. He's got 4, the big super forward.
Yeah, everything's going his way at the moment.
He'll probably be getting offers from soccer clubs around Darwin to come play for them with the soccer skills he's shown throughout the season.
It happens when you get a bit older. You don't really want to pick it up, do you, if you can help it. That's not fair.
Save your hammies.
Here he goes. Lewis has given him great service out of the middle, no doubt about that. Wilson getting involved now. Hard at the foot. He didn't get the kick away, though. He charged at it. Here's Wall with it. Round the right boot he goes. Labastida got a hand on it, couldn't control it. Long working back there. Ben Long didn't get it. McLean comes through hard. Mark McLean left the ball behind. Comes out for Southern Districts here to Staunton. Staunton to the pocket. Good kick from him, and the mark taken down there by Will Farah. Yet to kick a goal in the preliminary final.
Dean Staunton's getting plenty of the football around the packs.
Farrah's going to load up and go for it, and he's going to kick a miraculous goal. Will Farrah, you're a superstar.
How good is that? Will Farrah, he was looking to try and pass it off, but in the end, I think when he doesn't think about it too much and just goes back and has a crack at it, it comes off a lot better and full points.
109 big ones for him this year. Wonder how we'll go in the Nichols medal tomorrow night. I remember they had a number of players who've kicked hundreds of goals here, don't get too many votes in the Nichols medal. Damien Cupido kicked 140 and hardly got a vote.
But the way Will Farrah plays, he's very spectacular and he'll catch the eye of the umpire.
And he just wants to get his hand on the foot. He does. I'm hearing that he doesn't back chat. Here's Ben Rioli. Hasn't had much of the footy today. His kick out wide was not a real good one to Ewing. The direction was okay, but the distance wasn't real good. He's got to try and negotiate his way around Copeland. He does and kicks it to the top of the square. Rioli underneath the footy. Cooper couldn't get it. Cooper, good defensive work there. They can run it out of defence now, Southern Districts, up towards Dingo, and he takes the mark inside defensive 50.
Great hands by Dingo. Had to catch that.
Sees Bowden out on the half-back flank. Drops the mark, and then under pressure. Ben Rioli gets to him, but his kick is terrific up towards the wing, and he finds James Wall running backwards. Spears it up the forward. They got in the way of Farrah then. He could have just about marked that. Lewis's kick is good to Geary. Geary can go short and give it off to Jack Williams. Williams on the wing. Running out to his right is Michael Coombs, but he goes back into the corridor to Lewis. Lewis comes out of the middle from 65 metres out. Gives it a roost to the goal square, gets right over the back, and the clean-up will come here from Copeland. Spears it out wide, gets over the top of Orton. Great mark taken out there by the very busy Duffy. And Duffy even further with the kick for Southern Districts. A good one too, bouncing ball. McGough towards the boundary line. Geary puts him under pressure, but he got away from him and won the kick and went further upfield with it. Wanted paper talk, couldn't control it, and rolled to the boundary line.
Great defensive work there by Southern Districts. Copeland in the back line and clearing kick and switch of play. So they were under fire then.
A good game of footy. It's not close. It's not horribly close, but it could be at any minute. You can feel Southern Districts trying to get their game working. It hasn't quite worked for them yet. Saints have too many good players out there at the moment. Here's McFarlane with some good work to Cooper. Cooper goes to ground. Labastida gets to the foot. He can't pick it up. He tries to get it. It's been held up in there. It's going to come out. Geary got to it, laid it like an egg, and then it come out to Staunton, who emerged with it out on the wing in front of the scoreboard. Punches it up towards half forward. Parnell got to it, dropped it, left it on the ground. Long wanted it and didn't get it. That was Jack Long. Here's Kennard. Gets to it at 50, gets on the left boot. Here's Farrah at the back. Whoa. Oh, he just about jumped right over the top of Iggy Balajo. Went up there, caught the train but didn't pay the fare, and then he left the footy behind. What an effort from him.
Caught the aeroplane.
And Southern Districts bring the ball back in, and the old step ladder himself gets the free kick and punches it out wide here, and he's got Coombs by himself. Coombs cuts back infield across half-back, goes to the middle with the kick. It wasn't real good, and they've cut it off. Will Farrah, goodness me, what an effort that was.
If Farrah had taken that mark, Valeja might have been called the step ladder.
Was some crime, Kieran, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Coughed up a free kick here, Saints have got it. Geary with the kick into the middle, finds Labastida. Rather, it was Shannon Rioli. Gets it back, Shannon Rioli gets to it, spins out of a tackle, takes him on, gets onto the left boot, goes around the corner with it. It's a good kick down inside 50 towards Ewing. Ewing couldn't get it. Cooper came with the assist, didn't get it. Dingo got the footy and lost it. Ben Rioli with the handball, out to Ewing in space. He doesn't miss from there, Darren Ewing. No sirree, he's got 5. I think he kicked 5 last week, didn't he? He's got 5 and we're not even at half time.
Yeah, he found some space at the back, as we see some more push and shove and some niggle. But Ewing just on fire. Just anything that comes his way, he's turning into goals.
Wow, well, that's always a bad sign for anyone else when Ewing starts to kick a lot of goals. It means a couple of things, wasn't it? It means that he's on song, but it also means that that midfield is getting plenty of the footy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it's won at the moment. And much to this guy here, Daniel Lewis, he's not only up in the ruck, he's winning the ball on the ground level and getting plenty of possessions as well.
Kennard, probably the only effective forward really at this stage. Kicks it up to Farah, takes a terrific mark. It had to come eventually. He's got one.
And that's all you have to do with Farah. Even though that ball went over his head, he still had the space. It was to advantage side, and he still had the space behind him to push back. And he can jump 2-3 metres up, sideways, backwards, so just get it to him.
Yeah, very capable. He should kick this. No, I don't think he has. He's at the post. Actually, talking to Rick Nolan last week after the game, he's talking about Darren Ewing, said, you know, what did you think of Ewing before the game? And he said, I knew he was on song because he sat by himself in the corner and you could just see him mulling over the game and what he was going to do. I knew that he was in for a good game. He was, and he's doing it again today.
And he's another player that needed the extra game. So it's been publicised that Saints have had to come the long way to get to the prelim. And I think it's paid off for some of their more senior players that have missed a few games.
Well, they're shaping up as a pretty formidable outfit at the moment. They can run it out of half back here. And high tackle. So they've won it through Staunton. Staunton's going to go down towards Kennard under the footy. Actually, it was down there was lost his name for a minute. Glenn Randall.
But Dean Staunton, he's just been collecting possession left, right and centre. It's been District's by far best player in this second quarter.
So Saints at the 18.5-minute mark, leading 9-4 to 5-5. And they've got the runners here now along the wing on that far side. Handball towards Cooper. Cooper pushes it in front of him. It went out of play, which is just as well for Southern Districts, because had that have sat for Cooper, he was going to kick to a one-on-one Ewing and Copeland down in the forward line.
And St Mary's need to, as we get a shot of the crowd here, and great to see the numbers here, predominantly Southern District supporters, but St Mary's need to be careful not to take on the defender. They need to keep using the first give, the first option, otherwise they'll come unstuck.
Dingo's done pretty well. Across defence. Handball came out there from McGough. Good gather out there by Kieran Parnell. Little kick up towards half forward. Saints come out for it. Good clean-up work in defence. Spearing kick up towards the wing. They get in the way. Southern District's good strong mark out there, Brennan.
Yeah, you need to kick it right over his head, otherwise he's going to mark it like that.
Look at him load up. That's an amazing kick.
Great vision.
He just bangs it, doesn't he? Handball out wide here to Bowden, who's come up from half back. He's going to go for goals. He's loaded up. He's kicked it right to the goal line. And it's hit the behind post, which means it's out of bounds on the field. Well, here's Glenn Randall. He looks a sorry sight. What can you tell us? Anything on Glenn Randall you can give us?
Yeah, his left shoulder's a bit limp, so it might be dislocated. He's gone straight into the cold room. He went down after that challenge on the far side, so hopefully he can get back on there because he's a real engine room player for Southern Districts. Gets down and dirty in the packs.
Indeed he does. He's a toughie, isn't he? That's kicked out of bounds on the full, I reckon. So Saints are going to get it across their half-back line.
Interesting decision there from Matthew Duffy.
Geary thumps it up to the wing. Wilson waiting for like a good rover. Orton with the push out, did really well and then mucked it up by dropping it. Freddie Sleeth gets there, under pressure, gives it to Dingo. Dingo whacks it away up to the edge of the corridor. Shannon Rioli under it, Staunton on the pick up, thumps it down half forward, parked underneath it. It's going to be a free kick to Southern Districts. Right out directly in front, parked under the footy, and Jack Long came there with a rather crude tackle.
Well, you get front position, those kind of calls go your way.
A chance here for Marcus Hamilton. He felt that too. He's feeling the after effects of it. That's going to be a tough kick from him. 21 minutes gone. They'd love to close this gap by a goal if they could, Southern Districts. They're playing catch-up footy right from the opening 5 minutes. Gets to 50. That's a good-looking kick. He might have just pulled it to the near side. He has. And they've missed ones that they should have got.
That is a big kick, Charlie. I didn't know if he had the distance in him, but he made that quite easy.
So Iggy Vallejo to bring it back in. And this is a good kick from him.
Straight back.
The same distance as the one that
Yep.
went in. Ball is the call from the crowd. Marcus Hamilton gave the handball away. The kick forward there off the boot of McGough. And the mark taken by Jared Brennan.
And that's all you have to do. If you win the football off a kick out around the half forward flank or the top of the 50, just bang it back in there, because quite often that the defenders are caught out because they're setting up to attack, and the ball went over the top to Brennan.
The big J. He's on a tough angle, but the distance not a problem. Kicks at goal, and I reckon he's missed it to the near side again. Gee, they've missed some opportunity. Could have had a couple of extra goals here. Imagine that if it was 7-5 to 9-4 instead of 9-4 to 5-7.
Well, I've watched both Brennan and Farah with their run-ups, and they're very stuttering. I've never seen them have that kind of, or lack of confidence in their goal kicking at set shots.
Different to the minor round games. When we
Yeah,
saw them
exactly.
play. You wonder why? Just the pressure of the occasion, maybe.
Must be. That's the only thing that's different.
Coombs. It's not a good kick from him. He's going to go out of bounds on the full. I think Coombs then wasn't sure where to go. He saw McFarlane and he saw Cooper. And I think he was caught between both of them and then kicked it out of bounds on the full. The ball in the hands of Lionel Ogden. Short kick, though. He's left it in the air for a long time. And Bowden was under some pressure from the other number 8 in Raf Clark. Back to Ogden, who gave it to him, and he runs through the centre of Marara.
Great front centre by Hamilton. Labastida needs to get on the other side of the contest.
Brennan blocked, gets it back now. Gave the handball away to Dingo. Smothering effort was fantastic to put it to ground. And Lewis then scrambled out towards the wing. Bowden will be first to get to it. He has to do it in a hurry, can't go anywhere, Michael Bowden. Cooper closed on him far too quickly.
Yeah, I like Bowden's game so far. He's taken upon himself to run up the ground, and I think previous games he might not have had the confidence to do that, but he's backing himself in and creating opportunities.
Lewis from the back, reaching over the top of Wall. And a good mark taken there by McGregor. Off the left boot he goes. Will he keep it in the field of play? Yes, he will. And it stayed back in the field of play. Southern District's hard runners here. They might try and work it out towards Roe Duggan. He didn't get it. And Carl Lowe draws a free kick and then gets decked a little later on by Jake Roe Duggan, who was a little frustrated.
It'll be the one return for the Will Farrow incident.
Carl Lowe. Matt Rosie got there to knock it over the boundary line, or knock it out of his hand.
Very much enjoyed the intensity of this game, Charlie. The tackling, the little niggles, the skills. Finals football at its best.
Kieran, what do you got? No, we haven't got Kieran down there. There we go, Kieran.
Yeah, the Southern... Oh, I'll let you call the goal.
Shannon Rioli.
Shannon Rioli. Oh, was it Shannon that kicked it, or was it... might have been Ben, was it? I looked away down at Kieran. I reckon it was Ben Rioli that kicked that goal. What do you think?
From the celebration, I thought it was Shannon, but we'll get some clarification on that.
Can you help there, Kieran?
Yeah, I think it was number 10, Shannon Rioli kicked that one.
So Shannon with the goal gives him his first goal for the match. Anyway, Kieran, what have you made of it?
Well, yeah, the Southern District's fans, if they weren't already in that game, they're going to be even more so. They were really, really pumped up by that umpiring decision that went against them. So they'll be very vocal.
Lewis down to Geary, just the perfect tap by perfect ruck work. Bump back to Lewis again, tried to break his way through. They got to him and stopped him. Here's McLaughlin, the footy in front of him. Geary after the footy for Saints. Over the top of it, trying to squirrel his way out. He can't come out with it. They've got him and they hold him up. Right, so just outside the 50-metre line, almost half-time here. 26 and a bit minutes gone. It's been a good quarter. Saints have kicked 4 goals. Southern Districts have kicked 3. Tapping trying to come out with the footy. That time was Rosier. Labastida off to Jack Williams. Shannon Rioli on the chase. Takes it outside 50. Take his best kick from there. Takes him on. He knows he's got to crib a bit. He looks up and sees McLean. Oh, McLean was on the wrong foot and just couldn't get the jump to the footy. Ben Rioli on the clean-up. Where's Shannon? Where's Geary? At the back, Geary under the footy takes the mark. Good, strong mark, Geary. Jackson Geary.
Pretty lucky to get away with that, St. Mary's. The Shannon Rioli should have looked for one of their key forwards. It's when you're in that position to kick to Peter McFarlane or Darren Ewing or Raph Clark, you normally do. The kick went over the top of Mark McLean, so they're lucky to get another crack at this.
So St. Mary's perfectly poised at this late stage of the second term. They're leading 10-4 to 5-7. It might just become 11-4 to 5-7 with the siren about to sound for half-time. Jackson Geary with the footy. Took the mark over wall. Kicks from inside 50. Strikes it nicely. Gets the goal, Jackson Geary. It's all working for the Saints tonight.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen this level of polish from St. Mary's in any of the games, and it's all sort of coming together at the right time, and Jackson Geary just making sure that he kicks the goal and extends the lead.
11-4 to 5-7, 12 shots to 15. Saints comfortably out in front. 70 plays 37. So 33 points the margin. Umpire sends it aloft, so they've sent Farah in to do some ruck work against Lewis, who was dominating in there, and Farah beat him, and there's a wrestle going on in there between Orton and Jared Brennan. They're trying to break up. I'm not sure what that was all about, nor do I have much interest in it. Erie's on the ground. Umpire's going to get the footy back and throw it up. And the siren goes to bring the first half to an end. And Brennan decked Orton there, and it got a little ugly yet again. They can push and shove as much as they like. The score tells us St. Mary's 11-4, leading Districts 5-7. Jared.
Yeah, well, this has just escalated at half-time, and it's not what we want to see at a Premier League game or in a prelim final. I'm going to try and pick out the player who actually threw the first punch, but do not need to see this.
Wilson, I think, had his Guernsey ripped off.
That's McFarlane.
McFarlane, rather, comes out with his Guernsey ripped off. There's really no point in this, is there?
Not at all. It's half-time. The siren's well and truly gone. Should be switching on to resting, recovering, getting ready for the next quarter.
It started with Orton and Brennan. I know that, and then everyone else has got involved in it. And it's the ugly side of footy. Give us your thoughts on that first half, Jared.
Yeah, well, look, up until this point, I think St. Mary's had led most of the stats, but more importantly, have led their opponents to the football, which has allowed them first use and first crack at getting forward entries. And their polish has been a standout. It's the best that they've used the football all season. Better players for St. Mary's, Daniel Lewis in the ruck, but not only in the ruck, he's getting a lot of possessions at ground level. Jackson Geary, Justin Cooper, Darren Ewing and Sharon Rioli worked his way into the game in that quarter. For Southern Districts, Dean Staunton, Jared Brennan, William Farah, Matthew Rosier and Marcus Hamilton have been the key players for them, winning their position and winning the fair bit of the football. But at the goal square end, they're not getting the return on the effort.
So the half-time score here, St. Mary's 11 goals for, lead Southern Districts 5-7 after they led 6-4 to 2-2 at quarter time. Just get those goal scorers quickly from you, Jared, if we can, please.
Yeah, so Darren Ewing, St. Mary's obviously, Darren Ewing with 5, 2 to Raph Clark, 1 to Jack Williams, 1 to Shannon Rioli, and 1 to Carl Lode. For Southern Districts, Matt Cannard with 2, Marcus Hamilton 1, Jared Brennan 1, and William Farah 1.
Well, it's been an interesting game of footy, but it has St. Mary's comfortably in front at half-time, and did that little melee fire up Southern Districts in the second half? We'll have to wait and see. Half-time here, St. Mary's 11-4, leading Southern Districts 5-7.
Weather is part of life in the Territory. It's unpredictable when it comes and in what it leaves behind. That's why Territorians need the right insurance cover for their home and contents. Local knowledge is important. Talk to TIO about Territory home insurance for Territory conditions. So before it happens, call 131 TIO or visit tiofi.com.au. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business. Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
1300 kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's hire gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks. I know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1 bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year.
My housemate woke me up to ask where my car was. Turns out we left the front door unlocked. Someone helped themselves.
Protect yourself against crime. A momentary lapse is all it takes, even if you are home.
It's pure chance and quicker to steal keys than hotwire a car. People make it easy and leave keys, bags and wallets laying around with unlocked doors.
Don't be the one to get caught out. A community announcement by TIO, Crime Stoppers and the National Motor Vehicle Theft Reduction Council.
The advantage is all yours during Bridge Toyota's Buyer's Advantage. Like Corolla Ascent Hatch Automatic from a low $21,990 drive away. And 2015 Hilux Workmate Single Cab Chassis 4x2 from just $24,990 drive away. Or 2015 Hilux SR 4x4 Dual Cab from $45,990 drive away. And every Toyota comes with Bridge Toyota's lifetime of advantages. Offer is limited, so hurry into Bridge Toyota today.
Bridge Toyota, you're number one.
Patrons are reminded that TIO Stadium is strictly a non-smoking venue and that patrons wishing to smoke must use the areas provided.
Weather is part of life in the Territory. It's unpredictable when it comes and in what it leaves behind. That's why Territorians need the right insurance cover for their home and contents. Local knowledge is important. Talk to TIO about Territory home insurance for Territory conditions. So before it happens, call 131 TIO or visit tiofi.com.au. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business. Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
1300 kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's high gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks. I know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1 bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
My housemate woke me up to ask where my car was. Turns out we left the front door unlocked. Someone helped themselves.
Protect yourself against crime. A momentary lapse is all it takes, even if you are home.
It's pure chance that quicker to steal keys than to hotwire a car. People make it easy and leave keys, bags and wallets laying around with unlocked doors.
Don't be the one to get caught out. A community announcement by TIO, Crime Stoppers and the National Motor Vehicle Theft Reduction Council.
The advantage is all yours during Bridge Toyota's Buyer's Advantage. Like Corolla Ascent Hatch Automatic from a low $21,990 drive away. And 2015 Hilux Workmate Single Cab Chassis 4x2 from just $24,990 drive away. Or 2015 Hilux SR 4x4 Dual Cab from $45,990 drive away. And every Toyota comes with Bridge Toyota's lifetime of advantages. Offer is limited, so hurry into Bridge Toyota today.
Bridge Toyota, we're number one.
And we welcome you back to TIO Stadium here after the half-time break. St Mary's, well, not comfortably in front, but in front, and looking formidable at this halfway mark of the preliminary final. 11-4 to 5-7. They led 6-4 to 2-2 at half-time. Jared Eilert joining us in just a second. Let me remind you of that women's score from the women's grand final. We saw an entertaining grand final. It really was a good game of footy, and Tars ran out winners over Wanderers 6-14 to 4-8, and Abby Holmes was the judge best on ground from a super performance from her. And before that, we saw in the under-18 competition, Darwin 8-8 beat St Mary's 6-6 in the first ever women's under-18 grand final. Well done, the Buffettes. A good win there. Jared Eilert, what's wait for us in the second half here?
Yeah, well, the first 5 minutes, Charlie, is going to be red hot. We obviously saw what unfolded at half time, which is very disappointing considering all the kids lining up, waiting to get on the field. However, it just makes the next 5 minutes very interesting for the spectators, and who's going to hold the discipline, who's going to keep calm, who's going to keep focus on the football, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be about the end score.
Now, there was a melee. We're not proud of it, but do you think the umpires might have taken some names down? I didn't see anybody being reported, but you just never know what happened out there.
Well, obviously, it's going to get looked at the end of this game and during the week in regards to the match review panel. But hopefully from here on in, we get to see some pretty first-class football, because up until that point, it was a pretty good game.
It was indeed. It was indeed, and some terrific battles going on, and we can see the teams out there now getting themselves back into position. Saints have dominated out of the middle, haven't they? Lewis has just been superb in his rucking efforts today.
He's been the catalyst. Not only is he getting up there and winning the taps, but he's also, his work rate at ground level and getting possession, running through the middle, has been a key factor for St Mary's with this lead.
Can he sustain it?
Absolutely. He's. I think we've seen throughout the course of the season, not only is quite athletic, but he's quite fit as well.
Shannon Rusker would have said to James Wall, I want you to break even or do better in this quarter.
Yeah, good move, I think. Shannon Rusker putting Wall in there. He started up forward, created a bit of headaches with the matchups, but this is where he can do the most damage.
So the umpire hurls it up, and he got up there and got the tap down, did Lewis. Ball goes on the ground, umpire finds a free kick in it, and it's going to go to Carl Lode. So it starts as it ended, with Saints in control of the footy, kicks it out to Geary. Geary has been terrific today, really has. Lewis, Geary have been superb working together. Look at this kick from Geary down towards Ewing, gets knocked to the ground. Cooper on the clean-up. Cooper from directly out in front, snaps and misses out to the right. Minor score.
Yep, Cooper's been one of the best players too for Saints. Good front and centre, just didn't finish off.
Southern Districts can't let Saints kick goals here, and Saints know that if they can kick the next couple and keep District scoreless, they're going to go a long way to winning this game. Labastida pulled down with the footy, trying to break his way through, held up by Marcus Hamilton. Some great clashes going on out there, as you expect in a preliminary final. Jared Eilert with me, Kieran Davis on the boundary, Charlie King with you in our commentary box here at TIO Stadium. Ball knocked back and rushed through for a minor score.
Good defence there. Number 16, Liam McGregor. Like he's matching up on Peter McFarlane.
Get down to Kieran in just a moment. See if you heard anything at half-time. So, going to bring the ball back in here, Southern Districts. They want it at the other end of the ground. They've got to kick some unanswered goals to get their noses back in this competition, but this man's not making it easy for them. Lewis takes a terrific mark in front of Wall at centre half forward, thumps it to the top of the goal line, wants to get it to Ewing. It goes to ground. Cooper goes in with the big tackle. Oh, it was a ferocious tackle, and it was high, and they've given away the free kick, so it's going to go to Matt Rosier. Deep in defence for Southern Districts. Bangs away with the left boot, sends it out wide. It's a good kick, and finds Bowden out there. Kieran.
Yeah, Glenn Randall, I don't think he'll be taking any further part in this game. He's had his left shoulder iced, probably dislocated. He would have had a jab, and he won't be taking any part. He'll make it very hard for Southern Districts losing that rotation, and especially Randall, who's a real rotation player.
Okay, and you haven't seen McFarlane out there, have you, with the new Guernsey on?
Not yet. I'll try and pick him up.
Darren might see him. He's on the other side of the ground. But here, Southern Districts come away on the wing, spearing the ball into the forward line. And, gee, they kicked it straight to Iggy Vallejo. When you've played as many games as him, you can anticipate where the ball's going before the person kicks it, Jared.
Yep. Free kick here, and good umpiring right on the spot. Ben Long, unfortunately, no eyes for the football. Just took Dean Staunton out.
Staunton's kick was a horror. It really was. Carlode on the clean-up, gives it to Cooper. Cooper with the ball at the ground, back to Carlode. Carlode runs through the centre at Marara, bangs with the right boot, sends it deep. Ewing in great position at the back. Ewing go at the back. That's where he plays great footy. Kicks it off the ground on the run. Bangs it through for a goal. He's got 6.
He's just a smart player. He had the right position in terms of holding his player out. He could have used his arms, but he just stood his ground. He's obviously got the strength over Michael Bowden and just allowed the football to roll over the top. And I would have liked him to catch the football first, then kick it, but he decided to soccer it off the ground. So his next phase of life, Charlie, might be soccer career.
So he's kicked 6 goals today. I mean, if you took his 6 goals out of that, Saints would be 6-6 to 5-7, being an even contest. He is the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that we obviously know the shape of the ball can bounce anyway. So he's on fire.
Lewis again climbs up. He's Superman. It's there, the tackle, Jack Long hard. Ball on the ground. They've overrun at Southern Districts. Have to kick it off the ground. Wilson went looking for it. Couldn't get it. Bowden got a kick away from mid-air. Sends it out wide towards the boundary line. Rolling towards the boundary. Player held without the footy there. Staunton might have done it. And it might have been Mitch Herbison. Umpire's blown the whistle, but it's because the ball went out of bounds.
Peter McFarlane is now wearing number 25.
To here. Lewis, just so alert, isn't he? Runs from the back, gets there, knocks the ball to ground. He's given him a rucking lesson today. Staunton gave it to Bowden, touches down, runs from half back. Shannon Rioli on his tail, kicked it up forward. Will Farrer at the back, can't get to the foot, he's got 2 to beat, goes to ground. Working hard back there is Iggy Vallejo over the top of the footy. Umpire says it's a free kick because the high tackle was on Iggy Vallejo.
Yep, head over the ball.
He's tucked away in the back pocket. Gives it to Labastida. Labastida with the handball goes back. Saints now from the full-back line out towards Coombs, running at the footy. Whistle goes. It'll be a downfield free kick.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's a lack of concentration, but there's certainly time to pull out of that one. Jared Brennan giving away a free kick down the field.
Cooper with no one, rather not Cooper, Coombs with no one on the mark goes looking for Cooper. Cooper gets pushed out of it. Spillage off to McLean, who fires it into the forward line. Out towards Ogden though by Southern Districts as they get the ball back. It went over the top to Cooper under the footy. They might have got him a little high. Umpire says no play on. Southern Districts come away with it. And the kick goes out wide towards the boundary line and rolls over. Whistles going everywhere here, waiting to come on. The Southern Districts player.
Districts are actually down 2 rotations. Cal Barker has his knee strapped. He doesn't have his boots on, so I don't think he'll be taking part in the game either. So that's definitely a big blow for Districts.
Comes out to Shannon Rioli, caught with it. McLean gives him the handball. They get to McLean and dispossess him. Dingo tried to scramble a kick away. It didn't work. Orton got there with a big tackle, put it on McGough, holds him up. They're stuck at the half-forward line for St Mary's. All the momentum with them. The only goal of this quarter.
Free kick to Dean Staunton.
War waiting to come on.
That rotation, or the 2 players down on Southern District's bench, is going to hurt them at the later part of this game. It's unfortunate. Baker is one of the best defenders.
Zane Carter. I was talking to his granddad the other day, Jeff Carter. Proud of his grandson. Is the kick that goes over the top to Rosier. So Matt Rosier gets on that left boot, spears it into the centre of the ground and finds McGough. McGough got the step around it pretty well to get around Anthony Long. Sent it to the forward line. Push from the back with Iggy Vallejo was pretty good on Farrer. He's not having a good night tonight. Will rolls away for a minor score here. Southern Districts rushed it down into their forward line.
Certainly being with him every step of the way in this 3rd quarter. Vallejo on Farrer.
Farah's gone for a bit of a walk by himself now, and Iggy Vallejo stalks him from about 20 metres away, just keeps a very close eye, as a lion would on a wildebeest. Jared.
Yep, you have to in these kind of games, but some districts create the turnover on the far wing, and as we've seen many times, they get to this position and sort of let them down the next kick.
They've turned this one over again. That kick was poorly kicked forward, and Jack Long was waiting back there at centre half back. This kick's going to be a searching kick for Geary. Brennan's going to close on him, but he takes a nice mark because the kick was superb.
Sensational kick from Jack Long.
Geary punches it forward, wants Shannon Rioli at the back, finds him, gives it to Ben Rioli, gets to 50, lines up and kicks at goal, Ben Rioli. Whoa, St Mary's at their very, very best. They are officially back in town.
Absolutely, that's champagne football, and a nice handball from Shannon Rioli to Ben Rioli, running through the 50-metre line, and that's what you want from your defenders and your on-ballers, finishing off them running goals.
From Long to Geary, to Shannon Rioli to Ben Rioli, it was just super footy.
Yep, and all class in terms of the football getting kicked to the advantage side of the teammate and not allowing the opposition any chance to have a hand in it.
I don't want to call this early, but I tell you what, Southern Districts look spent to me. They just don't know how to deal with this. They've been confronted by a side who wants the footy much more than they do. And Geary again comes away. He's close to best on ground today. He and Lewis and Cooper have been terrific. Ball won here by Jared Brennan. He's a lone hand, kicks it up towards the wing, parked underneath it, load, couldn't take the mark. Spillage out and handball off to Wall. They got to him. He miskicked it. It went back across the half back line there, gathered in by Kieran Parnell, up towards the wing with his kick, put it for Wilson. Orton on the chase, gets to it, lost it this time. Handball was not the best, got it out towards Barker under pressure. They hold it up, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
There's been another jumper change. Duffy of Southern Districts is now wearing number 38.
Duffy with 38, goodness me. Where's all these? There's another one out there with 34 on. You might be able to work out who that is, Kieran. So Duffy's got 38. Kick out of the middle. Straight into the hands of Parnell, I think it is, dropping back there. Goes short. Geary. He's knocking up, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's racking up the possessions.
Too many of them. Dingo comes across half back out towards the wing. Clever work at the back, a little bit of holding on. Umpire lets it go on Anthony Long. Unlucky not to get the free kick.
Yeah, good battle. Anthony Long and Ryan McGough.
There's good battle between the two of them. Look at Lewis. He just can't get enough of it.
You're right.
He's been drinking red cordial.
That's right.
He just can't stop. Look at him. He hits it and he chases it. Now he wants to get it himself. He rucked it and he chased it all the way back to the boundary line. Everybody else looks like they're in slow motion around him. It's an extraordinary performance.
He's like a kid at McDonald's, Charlie. You give him a Coke or a red cordial and he just wants to play all day in the gym and the play equipment.
Goodness me. They've wound him up today. Front position, got the tap down again, did it beautifully back to the boundary line. Coombs tried to keep it in.
Just had an edit. Duffy is actually wearing. Duffy is the one wearing number 34.
Okay. That's better for us. Thanks, Kieran. So throw in here. Let's see what they can do this time. St Mary's, not much. Paper Talk got to it. Did well. Came away with the footy. Punched it upfield to the boundary line. Knocked away. Had front position down there and did it well. Jack Long. Safety first. Two-fisted. Thump to the boundary line. 13-6 to 5 goals, 8. Saints have kicked the only 2 goals of this second half. We go past the 12 minutes in this third term.
7 different goal kickers, Charlie, for St Mary's. The Southern District's 4.
And only Kennard with 2. Farah just the 1 goal today. Brennan's got 1.
Great pick up. Oh, he's unlucky on that occasion. The second touch of the boot to ball pushed it out of bounds on the full.
The resultant free kick to Mark McLean. He's on the wing in front of the Morris Rioli stand at the TIO Stadium here in Darwin. Preliminary final day. He kicks it straight to Keegan Dingo. Marks on his chest. And now he'll step around Lewis. That's a risk. And as it proved, because he got to him and dispossessed him, Lewis. He's on fire. He got it to Cooper. Cooper to the pocket for Ewing and finds him. Oh, Saints are turning on a football exhibition tonight, let me tell you.
Daniel Lewis, for a ruckman to do that, a dominant ruckman in this competition and this game, to actually stand the mark, run down Keegan Dingo to create a turnover is invaluable.
Well, in country Victoria, he plays as a centre-half forward. He's not actually a natural ruckman, but he obviously has to play there with the injury of Ryan Smith.
Yeah, and he's been just terrific tonight. Ewing in the pocket here. Tough kick for the man who's got 6. Goes with that left boot. Can he miss?
Only just.
Gee.
I'm sure he would have been copping a mouthful from the Southern District supporters.
He went ever so close to making it 7 goals for the night. Districts to bring it out wide to Bowden. Got over the top. Labastida got it and blocked it. Saints can bring it back to the top of the goal square again. Ewing at the back. Ewing at the back. And lands in his hands, would you believe it? Now he wants to play on. He's going to go in and kick 7.
I think he has to come back round.
Okay, he does, yes. He likes to do that, doesn't he? While they're all trying to work it out, he just plays on.
Well, he's trying to claim that he caught that in the goal square, and it was pretty obvious that it wasn't. Then when he realised that was the case, he tried to play on from the top of the goal square.
Well, the angle's not, I mean, it's fairly severe, but he's so close to the goal line, it's not going to matter that much, is it?
Shouldn't be an issue, but stranger things have happened.
Bang through the middle, no problem at all.
Yep, that's our 3rd football, Charlie, over the back.
He's kicked 2 in this quarter. It's 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 here for a match tally so far, with still plenty of the game left of 7 goals.
I wonder if AFL&T are going to invoice Darren Ewing at the end of this game because he's kicked 2 footballs over the back of the Michael Long centre.
I wonder if they've got someone over there. Wall waiting to come on. Kieran, anything?
Yeah, well, the Districts fans are right now, they're chanting, trying to get their team back in the game, but it's a very hard task, 53 points down with just over a quarter to do it.
Orton won it, gave it off to Mikey Coombs, thumped it up half forward. Geary on the charge, Bowden with him, Bowden with a clever little touch around the corner, knocked it over the boundary line. Really impressed with Jackson Geary tonight. Super performance from him. At the back, McFarlane here doing the ruck work. Didn't get to it though. Coombs grab, dispossessed. Orton gets to the footy. Shannon Rioli under trouble, pinged. So District's going to draw a free kick here. Shannon Rioli making it very difficult for Dingo. Had him in the Dingo trap. Had him around the ankles.
We've got the decision reversed. So I didn't see, the umpire was indicating a high contact for some reason, but didn't get to see that.
Coombs' kick right down to the goal square. Off hands through for a minor score. So 14 goals, 8 now. St Mary's leading Southern Districts 5 goals, 8. So it's the margin, unbelievably, is out to 9 goals.
They've just been on fire with all their disposals and obviously kicking for goal as well.
When you think back on this game and people ask you during the week, who do you think's going to win? You say, well, look, you know, how do you pick it? They're so close, and then the scoreboard tells us anything but. Saints dominant tonight. They're sending a message out, aren't they, to Wanderers tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If they can finish off the game how they are playing right now, we've got an absolute cracker of a grand final in front of us. However, there's plenty of time left in this game. If Southern Districts can get a bit of momentum on the scoreboard, 2 or 3 goals in a row, to get them back into it.
Duffy using the handball from half back. Running through the middle, Rosie with the handball over the top. So Districts with a chance now. Kick down to the forward line was Brennan. Got up very high. Knock forward here. Saints with the defensive work. All the little things working for them. No chance there for McLaughlin to get it as the defenders conceded the behind. Here's Wilson on a charge down the wing. Kick comes out from Iggy Vallejo into the hands of Daniel Lewis. And then he gives it to Wilson at the 50-metre defensive. They're just playing keepies off at the moment, Saints.
Well, they've got the luxury of full rotations on the bench, so that's a position they haven't quite been in all season.
Bowden doing a terrific job there, and McFarlane got high, got it. Came out to Coombs, tries to break his way through, couldn't do it. Districts with the footy, goes to the boundary line, though they couldn't keep it in. Came out of the hands there of Marcus Hamilton.
I reckon one of the real underrated players today for St Mary's has been Iggy Vallejo playing on Will Farrer. He can look back over 320-odd games and say, I kept Will Farrer to 1 goal in 3 quarters.
In a preliminary final, it's a good effort, isn't it? He's playing good footy, his paper talk.
Good handball.
Gave it off. Ogden's kick's going to go out of bounds on the full. Cannard shaking his head. He's frustrated at the other end of the ground. Sometimes it doesn't work for you. Did it land in the field of play? Maybe it did.
I think it was touched off the boot.
Okay, that's the decision because the boundary umpire has to throw it in. Jake Rowe-Duggan waiting to come back on for Southern Districts. Brennan, you just feel when you see Brennan running, you can see that the fire's gone out because the Saints have just got too many winners everywhere here. Goes down to Keegan Dingo, he picks it up, goes with the short kick. It's a better kick for him. Gave it to Matt Rosier, looks out to his right to Brennan, then ignores that, then went over the top of Kennard's head inside 50 where Jack Williams was waiting. Onto the left boot he goes. He comes out searching for Ben Rioli. He has to work against Brennan. Brennan wins it. Handball was clever. Wall was good over the top to Jared Brennan. Rioli did well to get to him, but Brennan's third effort was fantastic. He socketed forward, but Iggy Vallejo, who Kieran Davis mentioned his performance down there, did terrifically well, kicked it back out only straight into the hands of Lionel Ogden.
And we've got Matt Kennard. He's been down for the last almost minute, so something's seriously wrong there for him to stay down for that long.
So the kick comes back into the corridor. Yes, we'll keep an eye on him. He's still on his haunches. Now slowly getting to his feet. It's been a tough night for Kennard. Not sure he'll go around next year, Jared, do you think?
Oh, well, it depends on how this game pans out, Charlie. If it's going to continue to be this sort of gap in the scoreline, it's not a great way to finish.
Jake Rowe-Duggan gets the mark across half-back. And the wandering full forward, Darren Ewing's come right up to the half-back line to stand on the mark. Keegan Dingo went there, didn't go for the mark in the end, got caught in a pack. Geary got to the footy and went over the boundary line under pressure from Ogden. Oh, the Saints are hot tonight. 20 minutes gone in the third term. Kennard's okay.
And Glenn Randall's just come back into the field as well, so it looks like his shoulder's all right.
Oh, I don't think so. He's not moving that shoulder at all.
He's running.
There he goes.
It's extraordinary. He's running with one shoulder.
Yeah.
It's a wow. That is amazing. His left shoulder is dangling as he's running. Why did they send him back out there? That's craziness. That's desperation and unnecessary.
I think the player will, Charlie, in this instant is more so that he's keen to get out there and help his teammates.
Well, not when you got a dangling arm, Jared. Can you really, in all honesty?
Well, it's do or die, Charlie. And I think we've seen players play through a fair bit of pain in terms of broken bones and other injuries. See how long he lasts.
Ferguson at half-back chips it back further and gives it off to Anthony Long in the back pocket. Long the wing with the kick. Push in the back of Carl Load because he had front position. It was a push of frustration, I reckon, for Marcus Hamilton.
Yep, they've had to work very hard for every touch they get, Southern Districts.
Working his way
Clearing
backward
that
out
one.
of that was Zane Carter, goes to ground. Kick off the ground to Keegan Dingo, gets a push in the back. Wall gave a handball. Comes out wide here for Southern Districts to try and get to it. They can't do that, running hard at it, Zane Carter. Cooper stole it off him with the handball back to McLean. McLean punched it up forward, sees McFarlane, got high McFarlane. Ogden got underneath him, didn't get to the footy. Handball went over the top there towards Shannon Rioli. Lands for Geary. Geary gives it off to Ewing. Ewing looks up, sees the goal, and then speared it across. And that was good play from him. He could have kicked the goal himself. He gave it to Orton. And Raf Clark says, well, if you like.
Well,
Sorry, Jared.
Ewan, he could have kicked the goal, he could have handballed to Geary, he could have kicked it to Orton, Clark, or even Labastida. He had that many options. There's a nice, clever tap on by Shannon Rioli.
So Orton's going to put his name in the scorebook tonight, goes back and kicks the goal. Good to see him get it as well. Well done, Guy Orton.
Yeah, they're just winning the football right across the ground, and you can start to feel the frustration that some of the players are showing from Southern Districts. It's just been an absolute battle all night.
Now, Glenn Randall is sent out there, the one-arm man, and he's got Michael Coombs as his opponent. If life wasn't bad enough when you've got one arm, you'd be set out to look after Michael Coombs. Goodness me.
Yeah,
I don't doubt his courage, Jared.
Nah, look, I don't disagree sending him out there, but probably not as a defender.
Yeah.
Put him in the pocket.
And they just
He's going to get the ball here.
Short on the boundary. He takes the mark. Wants Kennard, has him in front position. Kennard got to it, but it was knocked away from him because they had too many runners back there, Saints, and it was Long that came in. Ben Long put his fist on the ball and knocked it away from Kennard. The old and the young clashing there. And the youngster won. Throw in front. Lewis got over the top of the header there of Daniel Turner. Hasn't had much of the footy today. Come inside 50.
He's just read the ball very well, Iggy Vallejo. He's come off his man and Will Farrow, which is quite dangerous because he's in the goal square by himself. But if you can nullify the football up the ground, it gives your teammates a heap of confidence.
Paper talk. Ben Rioli, Ben Long from the back pocket. Kicked it up towards Wilson. Randall got the best of it, did really well, kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Well, considering he's only got one arm, he's done pretty well for the two touches that he's had.
So he's walking with his left shoulder hanging down, and his head is actually flopping over towards the left side. It's a sad sight to see, Jared.
Yep.
I think he's coming off again now.
He's called it. No. They breed him tough down there, Charlie.
They must do. Right over the top. Here's Randall again running at the footy. He's been nailed.
The ball follows
down
him
on the shoulder that time.
Yeah, I think you got to call it quits now.
Well, he can't get up. He's trying to get up. He can't use the hand to lift himself up off the ground. He's gone. He must come off, and he is now. So Saints with control of the footy as Glenn Randall makes his way off the ground. And it's with Bowden here. Goes for Wall, hits him on the chest, dropped it, chased it, got it. Kicked well down into the forward line. Out comes Jack Long with the footy in front of him. Staunton got to it. Gathered in this time by Jake Rowe Duggan. Kicked it down towards the forward line. Gets on the ground. Saints are not even going to concede here. From the back pocket, they'll kick it out wide. Geary ran a long way to get to it. It's going to go out of bounds on the full. Or did it just bounce inside the field of play? It did. So it'll be a boundary line throw in about 30 metres around. Picked up an injury there.
Yeah, look, I was just about to praise the cover defence by St Mary's defenders, and in particular Kieran Parnell, but it looks like he's copped a bit of a knock to his shoulder as we see the image shoot back to Glenn Randall. So some injury concerns on both sides, but we're at three-quarter time, Charlie. And we'll go through the goal kickers. Darren Ewing with 7 goals, which is unbelievable in a prelim final. 2 to Raf Clark, 1 to Ben Rioli, 1 to Carl Lowe, Shannon Rioli, Jack Williams and Jackson Geary. Port Southern Districts, 2 to Matt Kennard, 1 to Marcus Hamilton, Jared Brennan and Will Farrer, the single goal. So it was all Saints. Some injury troubles for Southern Districts with Glenn Randall and Barker most likely not taking any more part in this game, and we look forward to a fourth quarter.
Terrific effort there by St Mary's in that third quarter. They didn't let Districts kick a goal, and they themselves added 4 onto their 33-point lead, and they stretch it out to 59 points. Who'd have ever thunk it? Three-quarter time. Saints 15-8, Southern Districts 5-9.
Weather is part of life in the Territory. It's unpredictable when it comes and in what it leaves behind. That's why Territorians need the right insurance cover for their home and contents. Local knowledge is important. Talk to TIO about Territory home insurance for Territory conditions. So before it happens, call 131 TIO or visit tiofi.com.au. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business, Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
My housemate woke me up to ask where my car was. Turns out we left the front door unlocked. Someone helped themselves.
Protect yourself against crime. A momentary lapse is all it takes, even if you are home.
It's pure chance. It's quicker to steal keys than to hotwire a car. People make it easy and leave keys, bags and wallets laying around with unlocked doors.
Don't be the one to get caught out. A community announcement by TIO, Crime Stoppers and the National Motor Vehicle Theft Reduction Council.
The advantage is all yours during Bridge Toyota's Buyer's Advantage. Like Corolla Ascent Hatch Automatic from a low $21,990 drive away. And 2015 Hilux Workmate Single Cab Chassis 4x2 from just $24,990 drive away. Or 2015 Hilux SR 4x4 Dual Cab from $45,990 drive away. And every Toyota comes with Bridge Toyota's lifetime of advantages. Offer is limited, so hurry into Bridge Toyota today.
Bridge Toyota, we're number one.
Tick concurrent. Wow. Okay, I'm going to zoom. Hopefully Charlie will start talking.
So final quarter about to get underway here. Saints have broken. Southern District's still talking. They'll have plenty to talk about. Southern District's no doubt about that. But St Mary's comfortably out in front. 59 points. It's the most remarkable scoreline. 15 goals, 8 to 5, 9. St Mary's, with all the problems they've had this year in accuracy, injury and all those things, have all just gone away now. And they're back where they have always believed they should be. And that's playing in a grand final. Kieran Davis was down there listening to them. I wonder what Rick Nolan had to say to him. Be interesting to find out. We can go down now to Kieran Davis. Kieran.
Well, actually, I went down to the district's huddle for a bit, and Shannon Rusker came down and delivered a very frank, very honest speech about he knew the game was almost out of their grasp, but it was all about playing for pride now, and do not put the cue in the rack. Do what you do for this club week in, week out, and do not let your pride down. I think the saddest thing he said in that speech was that there are no more rotations. You can't come off. If you need to break, you need to go swap with someone in the forward line or in the defence, because there's just no one left for you to come off for, which I thought that was pretty sad and very frank from Shannon Rusker.
And anything from the St Mary's camp?
Nothing from St Mary's, but I imagine the message would be keep it simple, keep it stable, and just ride out the victory.
Good on you, Kieran. Thanks for that. What a chilling report that would be to hear that from the coach.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a feel for Shannon Rusker and his team and the supporters. They're the minor premiers. They look like it was theirs to lose. throughout the season. They were businesslike. They sewed up the week off, and I think it's come to backfire and hurt them a little bit. And you don't want to see a good team in that kind of position.
I think we talked to Rick Nolan today about Saints season and games against Southern Districts. He said, you know, I think our best game this year is we went down to Southern Districts. They beat us, he said, but we had no rotations. He said, and I just think it was our best game of footy. So he measured that, and here they are turning it on today. And the result's not going to be a Southern Districts win, we know that. Saints on fire. Here's Orton. So we were talking a little earlier on about the Saints. Your brother will come back in, Cam Islet will come back into the side. Someone will probably have to go out. It's going to be a tough call.
Yeah, well, we see Jared Brennan taking the mark and quickly playing on. He's certainly not confident in going back and having a set shot, but he still makes the most of the scoring opportunity. And I guess in the back of that speech from Shannon Rusk, it probably releases some of the pressure that will allow Southern Districts just to play their own game. There might be some individualism that might come out and kick a few goals in a row.
So for St Mary's, here's the tough time, isn't it? I mean, the game's yours, you've won it, you know, with 3/4 of great footy. What do you do now in the last quarter? Because if you ease off, you run the chance of getting injuries and all those other sorts of things. You just simply have to keep playing it the way you've been playing.
Yeah, well, the last few round games for St Mary's, there was, even though the personnel wasn't there, they had a lot of injuries and a lot of players missing to the back end of the season, but there was a process. Rick Nolan certainly made it known to every player and every support staff that there was a process that everyone had to keep ticking the boxes, no matter if they were injured, training, or playing in Div 1. They had to go through the process and tick the boxes, and I think we're seeing the results of that at the moment.
You know this club, obviously. You've brought up with this club. I mean, they just have great pride about playing in grand finals, don't they?
Absolutely. You know, it's almost an expectation that you're there, and I know the supporters keep you pretty accountable and honest, and quite often only the supporters come out to watch St Mary's if they're in the grand final. So that level of expectation is always there, and the players pride themselves to try and maintain that expectation.
Orton's going to get a free kick here because he was unceremoniously dumped over the boundary line after the ball had gone over, and so he draws a free kick. Matt Rosier at the defensive 50-metre line, and Guy Orton with the footy in his hand. Lewis wants it. And Lewis, for the first time, had someone climb over the top of him. It was Will Farrer.
He's had to come up the ground, Will Farrer. He's the only person that can do it.
Been a tough match for the leading goal kicker. Tomorrow night at the Nichols Medal Night, he will stand there and receive the Dennis Dunn Award for kicking over 100 goals.
Fourth Southern Districts player to get it. The remarkable effort.
Yes, we were talking about that before, wasn't it? It was Jakovic down there and Wedding and Cupido, wasn't it?
Correct.
All kick 100.
How come that wasn't in the your quiz today, Charlie?
Yeah, I should have put
failed
it.
miserably.
Yeah, you
at
did
that.
miserably in my quiz. I'm not going to tell the viewers what your score was, but it's out on that other side of the ground and game held up. So they'll go through the motions here a bit in this last quarter now, won't they?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on how much pressure there is from Southern Districts. You don't have to exert yourself too much, but in saying that, it's a pretty formidable team of Wanderers sitting in the grand final.
Here it is, Ben Rioli from a long way back got there and knocked it through with his hand. Ewing stands alone at the other end of the ground. He's been super today, 7 big goals from him. None of them particularly easy.
None of them conventional.
No, he worked for everything.
And he's on a 3-time premiership player in AFL player in Robert Copeland.
Tell us about Iggy Valasia. That's a game for the ages, I reckon. He's gone back some years for this performance today.
Absolutely, key role. And when your player like that is leading the charge, he's pretty much had to fill the void that John Anstess has left tonight. And he's done it with confidence, he's done it with leadership, and the young players around him in Parnell, Ben Long, Ben Rioli, these kind of guys, Jat Long, can play the game and back themselves in with a bit of confidence just like that.
Ball comes out to McLean. It's Cooper inside 50. He can have a shot for goal here, Cooper. He comes back in field. I'm not sure why, because that's where he saw Ewing and gives it to him. People, I think when you play with Ewing, you sort of have a feeling where he might be, even if you don't see him. And he banged it over to Ewing. He's got 7 today. He's going to have a shot from a 45-degree angle about 30 metres out.
Yeah, I would have forgiven him to have a shot at goal, Charlie. That's what he's there. He creates the space and opportunities, and he had every right to have a crack at that. He's limping off too now. I don't know what he's done, but we're with Darren Ewing.
Ewing loads up and kicks, and he rarely misses, and he doesn't bear. He's had a big night out tonight. He's got 8 goals. Now, just give you there's quarter by quarter tallies: 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 here in the last quarter.
He's certainly getting a lot of goal-scoring practice for next week.
Was it 5 last week he played? Pretty sure it was. So.
Yep. He was quite well held against Wanderers the first round of finals, and there was a lot of pressure on him to come out and perform, as it was with Peter McFarlane and Justin Wilson, but they've certainly answered over the last 2 weeks.
Just trying to have a look for that score of the what the score was in that game, but I'm not sure that I have it. The game between when he was held.
I think it was 10 points in the end.
Yeah. So here's a long kick back down towards
Kenner
back there
in the back line.
Yeah, he's gone back in defence. Ewing, just look at him walking around out there. He's as cocky as you can get, isn't he? This is his area, isn't it? This is where he does his work. This is where he does his best work.
It's his stage, Charlie.
Yeah. Lots of support act around him. I mean, we say that in the kindest way. I mean, he's just a mighty player. We've seen some good forwards over the years up here playing in the NTFL, but he's got a rate amongst them. Just his ability to turn nothing into something.
Yeah, and we've seen it tonight. 3 of his goals have just been trying to kick it off the ground, and really had no right to go through the big sticks, but they did. Rioli.
Long kick out, and Bingo gets back and puts his fist on it. I mean, we see Cupido, such a different play, kicked 140 goals, but he was a hard-leading, high-marking player. He didn't do the miraculous things. He didn't get the ball close to the goal line and, kick it out the back way or whatever. Ewing is just, he must be a nightmare to line up on, because doesn't matter, he's not there.
He breaks the mould. He absolutely breaks the mould, and that's why people the defenders look at him and go, I've got him covered, but.
Well, you couldn't teach a defender, you couldn't teach a player to become Darren Ewing, can you?
No, good point.
You can't. I mean, you can teach him to be Cupido, because if you can mark a ball and go back and kick, but he's just something completely different. You're right.
And what we've seen in the last contest, Keegan Dingo come across and actually punch the ball through for a behind, and I don't think Copeland's had that support down back, which has allowed Ewan a bit more freedom and space.
Yep. So ball up here on the half-forward line for Southern Districts. They can tap it down, and there's Iggy Vallejo again. Father Time came knocking at his door, and Iggy said, I'm not home, go away. Because he really, tonight, he's gone back, I reckon he's gone back a dozen years for his performance tonight. It's been an absolute beauty. Geary's been terrific tonight. Williams off the left boot. This man, Lewis, deserves to kick a goal. Takes the mark on his chest directly out in front. And he deserves to kick a goal today, because his first 3 quarters have just been first rate. It could be hard for you, Jared, to pick the top 3 players. That's your challenge.
Yep.
And I might get Kieran, I'm going to ask you as well for your top 3 players on from this game too a little later on. But here's Lewis straight out in front. Keegan Dingo stands about 25 metres out from goal. Lewis comes back, punches at the goal, and no problem at all. Daniel Lewis puts his name alongside those other St Mary's players today. He kicks a goal.
Yeah, thoroughly deserves a goal. What the current situation for St Mary's does allow for Rick Nolan to throw the team around a little bit. during the games moving forward, or the game moving forward, you would put Lewis up forward and you would put Jack Musgroves in the ruck, but now allows them to spend a bit more time up there and sort of get used to those positions.
Geary wanders back into the middle. Orton is in there with him. Ruck work's going to be done in there by Musgrove. Geary gets hold of it. Storms out of the middle with his kick. Goes deep down to the forward line. Lewis got a little sniff for goals last time. Wanted some more. Ball in the goal square here. And it's going to roll through for a minor score. And with Southern Districts, we talked about them last week, Jared. They were disappointing. They were flat. They just didn't look to be switched on. That's not the case tonight. They just simply were overwhelmed by a team who wouldn't let them play any level of footy that would be satisfactory for them.
Yeah, you're right. And last week I thought they were well and truly in the game at half-time. Their game plan worked. They just weren't capitalising on it. They weren't kicking the goals for the work that they were doing. I think they won the battle in getting Wanderers' attention in terms of away from the football and looking at the man. But they just didn't make the most of it in the second half. It just all sort of come undone.
Paper Talk gets this handball, uses it, gives it off to Marcus Hamilton, goes back, lines up and kicks it goal and gets it. So Hamilton gets a goal. So he becomes a multiple goal scorer. They've got 3 multiple goal scorers today, Southern Districts.
Yeah, Marcus Hamilton, his work rate, and we spoke about it earlier in the first quarter where they were pushing the 45s, doing the gut running. Skills probably let them down, but he was one of those players that just kept running and running and running. It's good to see him finish the game with 2.
So McFarlane makes his way back out, and his old mate Wilson comes off. Cooper goes on. Carl Load waiting to go on. Kieran Parnell waiting to go on. They're ringing the changes. And Clark tonight's, Raf Clark, had a fair bit of time on the bench.
Yeah, well, it's his first game for, at least a month, so he's going to be better off for it as well. It's Anthony Long.
Gee, that was a great tackle from the back. Shannon Rioli on Cannard. Just grabbed him. Cannard had no chance in the world.
No.
He had a fistful of his Guerns. He was caught with the football, and Shannon Rioli gets the free kick. Carl Lowe drifting down to the right is ignored. Shannon Rioli and goes short to Ewing, who gives a lead. Ewing is still short. Ewing is still by himself. Shannon Rioli is pretending he can't see him. And Ewing is dispirited. He wanted to kick 10 today. Shannon Rioli said, because I can kick it myself, Darren. Right to the goal line, just doesn't get there. And it's been held up.
I was half expecting a bicycle kick there from Ewing. just to top off the soccer skills from today.
So he's run down into the forward line now, looking for that. What's he got, 8?
8.
Go back through the record books. 10, I think. I think there've been a few players who've kicked 10 in a preliminary final, but not many more than that, I don't think. None that I can remember. 10's a pretty big effort. We don't have a record book with us, but we can check that. That's if you can get 10. This has gone right through, touched right on the line. Southern Districts got back there.
Well, 8's, I can't remember anyone kicking 8 in a prelim, Charlie. Phenomenal effort.
One of the ugliest kicks ever to come out of defence, off the boot then of Jared Brennan. Turner's a chance. Didn't really get into the game today, Daniel Turner. Carl Load works it out, gives it to Shannon Rioli, tries to break away as the whistle goes and brings it back. It's going to be a free kick to Geary. Jackson Geary. He wants McFarlane. Gets high. Peter McFarlane takes a strong mark. Got over the top of Keegan Dingo. Dingo's looking over his shoulder there at Lyon Logden. Wondering why he didn't block McFarlane. McFarlane's going to have a shot. He hasn't got a goal today, McFarlane.
No, he hasn't had to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goal scorers. The Saints, if he kicks this one, it can be 10. Which is phenomenal. In the preliminary final to have 10 goal kickers. He drops it awkwardly, but he kicks it very, very well, and Peter McFarlane gets a goal in the last term.
Yeah, and this is what Saints are going to get out of this. And I have no idea why Kennard would be wanting to remonstrate and push and shove. And
just don't know. Robert Copeland's come in to throw his weight around as well. Kennard is just, I'm not sure what that's all about. Now Dingo's having a go at McFarlane. Take him off, and they are taking him off, I think.
Call.
Take McFarlane off.
There is no point.
That's exactly what's happening, Jared, isn't it?
Yep.
Doesn't need to be out there. Lewis wins a free kick out of the middle. Districts with a kick out wide now, out on that far side, and give a chance here for Marcus Hamilton. 2 goals today from him. Kicks deep into the forward line. Big punch at the back there. It's really well done by Jack Long, I think it was, got his fist on it. Labastida with a little kick out to the running player in Iggy Vallejo. Comes back the other way, Iggy Vallejo spears it across the field and links it up there to Jack Long. He's deep in the back pocket. Going to go short with the kick to Lewis. He dropped it.
It's too easy, Charlie. You can't take the easy marks.
Yeah. Now he goes looking for Labastida. Brennan got it off him. Breaks away. Brennan gets on the left boot. Kicks deep and gets the minor score. So we've ticked up to 16.5 minutes of the final term. Saints so very dominant. Kick out wide here. Straight to Anthony Long. It's Matt Rosier. On one of those nights. What will he do, Matt? Tied up with Thunder, isn't he?
He certainly is. He'd be obviously disappointed how the season's unfolded with Southern Districts, or how the season's ended. But he's a quality player. One of the best tacklers that I've ever seen, and rate him very highly.
Labastida wins the free kick and gives it off to Jack Long. Iggy Vallejo. Out to Ben Long. Ben Rioli, rather. Back to Jack Long. Saints just playing keepies off at the moment. Racking up the possessions. Iggy Vallejo in the back pocket. Carl Load had a good game.
Charlie, he's one of the most underrated players that run around in this NTFL competition, and he's the ultimate professional in how he goes about his training and the way he looks after himself, and certainly shows in his football.
Just comes out and does the job every week, doesn't he? That's expected of him.
And he's had a role through the back line as well, which has been a little bit unconventional for him. Normally a sort of midfield, forward line, bench rotation, but he's done pretty well in the back line as well.
Mark McLean. Parnell running from the half-back line, spears it up forward. That's what Saints are doing well tonight. Here's the man we were talking about, Carl Load. Under pressure, they can still get the kick to a teammate upfield, can't they?
Yeah, and not only by hand, but by foot as well. And it's actually kicking it under pressure to the advantage side of your teammates. And that's pretty handy when you've got forwards like Darren Ewing and Peter McFarlane.
Wilson, front position, knocked away from him. Give a chance here for Shannon Rioli. Pushes it back around to Wilson. Back to Shannon Rioli. Put him under the pump. Handball out here. Got into the hands of Parnell. Parnell goes back, lines up, kicks at goal, hits the post.
That would have been the icing on the cake for the young defender. It's what Rick wants to see him do. Push up the ground a bit, create some opportunities and have shots at goal. Almost.
He's not much older than you, Kieran. He's out there having a shot for goal.
Yeah, definitely. And if he had scored that would have been one for the ages. It would have been a real coming of age for him, I reckon.
Don't tell me he goes to school with you, does he?
Nah, doesn't come to school down with me past the Berrima line.
Here's Carl Load again. Spears it in, turned it over. Ogden in the way. These games are difficult when they get to this stage. Here's the run from Marcus Hamilton. You're out there and you keep looking at the clock because you just want to get in the room with your teammates. You want to, celebrate this game and then start switching your mind to next week with the big grand final. And if you're in Darwin and you can thinking of going to the grand final, haven't made up your mind, we can urge you to come along because it is going to be a mighty game. It really is going to be a big one because Wanderers are just super confident, and this team here that we've seen in front of us tonight, St Mary's, the way they've dispatched with Southern Districts tonight has said we're a real chance here and we just might pinch it.
It is really shaping up to be one of the greatest grand finals, Charlie. These two teams have played off against each other in the last three, and it's an even ledger, one apiece. So St Mary's, I guess on the back of last year's loss, were hot favourites, and Wanderers just came out and absolutely almost bullied them into winning the game. They just didn't allow St Mary's to get a free kick or get any space. They just harassed and tackled and used the ball pretty well. And that will be burning in the guts for St Mary's coming out next week.
And Wanderers, of course, will be aiming to go back to back. They did it 81-82 and 82-83, and would you believe it? Those two wins were against St Mary's way back then, so they'd love to repeat it. History repeating itself, and the Eagles, that's what they'll talk about. Lavastida didn't see the player coming behind him, and the player had no right to interfere with him, and so he gave away a 50-metre penalty. He caused Lavastida to kick it out of bounds on the full, but he's conceded 50 metres. The Paper Talk's got the ball, but he's got to give it to Lavastida. And he does, and so Lavastida repays the generosity of Paper Talk by kicking the ball back to Paper Talk's opponent, which was Guy Orton. So he's invited to play on now, and he goes hugging the boundary line. This towards the boundary line goes over. So we've ticked past 21 minutes, almost 22 minutes. And it's going to be a resounding victory here, one to build for the grand final on for St Mary's. Rick Nolan will be absolutely thrilled with what he got out of them today. Michael Coombs trying to break through the tackle there. Squeeze kick forward by Jack Musgrove. Whistle goes, umpire comes in, picked a free kick out of it for Saints. It could very well be the last kick of the match. 22 minutes gone, and it's going to go to Carl Load. A long way out from goal. Ewing will be hoping that he can somehow get his hands on the footy and kick a goal down there.
They got 4 players looking after him though.
Now he's gone deep. Lewis he wanted. Knocked away by the Southern District's defence to the goal line and through for a minor score. So 121-53 is the score line. Unbelievable game of footy from the St Mary's team tonight. There's a chance for Ben Rioli. And Wilson. Wilson loves to kick a goal. He's on the left boot. He's not going to make the distance. Southern District's players said, yeah, Rioli, Wilson will have a shot. I'll go back to the goal square. Here comes Brennan, charging out of defence. Wilson confronts him, gets to the footy, gets on the right boot, sends it right down towards the goal line, knocked away by the defence.
Oh,
again.
he's got
From
it.
Mid-air.
He's got it.
That's not Ewing, is it?
No, it's Mark McLean. He is one of the greatest crummers in the NTFL competition, and what he sees and what Darren Ewing can do, he can do better.
So the ball was kicked forward right down to the line. It was in mid-air. He ran in and jumped in the air. And Kennard shaking his head in disbelief and frustration. Mark McLean just jumped in mid-air and kicked the ball through for a goal.
Yep, unbelievable. And it's just been that kind of night for St Mary's. Everything they've sort of thrown a foot at, it's come off and it's gone straight and it's gone through for a goal.
Poor old Matt Kennard, he's down there bearing the brunt of all of this. He's seen miraculous goals being kicked, Kieran. It's been party tricks time for Saints today, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they get to unwind now, and I guess Mark McLean would have been going. If Darren Ewing can do this, and I can too.
Well, the agony ends for Southern Districts. I just saw Peter McFarlane step across the line there, punch his fist in the air as if to say, job well done, close the curtain on this, turn your minds to next week. He's done that many times. Players shake hands. There was some animosity, some pushing and shoving throughout the game, but in the end, they had no chance, Southern Districts today. St Mary's dismantled them, demoralised them and dispatched them and went on to record a big win. 19-13 St Mary's, Sutton Districts 11, 7 goals 11 rather. Garrett, big win.
Yeah, look, St Mary's obviously had a lot of players win their position tonight in across the 3 quarters of footy. Pretty much it was all over by 3/4 time, but some good players, some of the better players for Saints, and this is the challenge that was set, Charlie. I think Daniel Lewis, he just set everything up. He allowed the on-ballers to have possession to kick the ball to Ewing. So Daniel Lewis, for me, best on. Darren Ewing with 8 goals, you can't go past that, and some of the goals that he kicked, you just shake your head at. Iggy Vallejo, his job on Will Farah was certainly a highlight for the game. Jackson Geary, and the 5th position, I think I want to give to Cooper. He was just very dangerous as a small forward up the field and creating opportunities. Southern Districts, Dean Staunton just tried his heart out all game. He racked up 30 possessions easy. He was in everything for Southern Districts. Second best was Brennan. He wasn't at his best tonight, not too sure why, but he's a class player. He's certainly got plenty of the football and finished with a couple goals. Matt Rosier, Marcus Hamilton and Will Farah, I thought he did enough to just sneak into their top 5.
Better players. Okay, thanks for that, Jared. Goal kickers led by Darren Ewing. What a performance from the super full forward tonight, finished up with 8 goals.
Remarkable, remarkable. And no doubt the build-up to this game had St Mary's absolutely at their best. And they came out and showed it from the first bounce, which sets up for a sensational grand final between Wanderers next week.
I'm not sure what Kieran's going to do, if he can get a player for us. I think he's looking for Rick Nolan, if he can get him. He's watching the tunnel. He's like a meerkat, is our Kieran. And he's keeping a very close eye on the tunnel, hoping that Rick Nolan will emerge, but he hasn't made his way down yet. The camera's down there as well. So Kieran could get someone for us. We'll stay with him until we can hear from at least one of the players or maybe the coach to get their thoughts on what was a resounding victory for St Mary's today.
One thing I will say about St Mary's, Charlie, that they actually don't like losing more than winning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that would have stuck with him from last year's grand final. And there are some superstar matchups in looking forward to seeing that next week. Does Iggy Vallejo play on Shannon Motlop, which would be a sensational? Does Josh Cabillo and Jackson Geary go head to head? You know, these kind of matchups that no doubt will pack the stadium next week. We know Wanderers crowd is very vocal, and they will be cheering their team on to go back to back.
So Kieran's gone on search. I've lost sight of him.
He's still waiting for Rick Nolan to come down. Already planning next week, no doubt. Training sessions and recovery and making sure the players don't get ahead of themselves.
So 19-13 to 7-11 is just I mean, it's hard to understand the preliminary final that you can win by that much, isn't it, really?
Yep. Kieran has got Rick Nolan. He's just prepping him now, heading over to the camera.
As soon as he's ready, we will go down to him, and there's no doubt Rick Nolan will be very, very happy with the performance from his Chargers tonight. I think we can go down to Kieran Davis now.
Rick, it was a fantastic win. Plenty of good individual performances. Ewing's 8 goals, Vallejo keeping Farah to 1 and Lewis in the middle, but you must be overall very pleased with the team performance.
Yeah, great team effort, 22 contributors, which you need in a final, and they just stuck to the processes really, really well.
It must have been a logistical nightmare with all the injuries and omissions leading up. Must make this win much more pleasing.
Look, this can be probably our greatest premiership ever with the Thunder restrictions and the injuries that we've had. Well, Cameron Eilert and Luke Bath will come in next week, so yeah, it'll be one of the special ones.
Are you looking forward to the grand final next week? Maybe get some revenge for the loss in last year's grand final?
It's a grand final. I'm not talking about revenge. You just want to win it. You train so hard, and that you just want to win it. So the word revenge is just with the effort you want to get some reward for the effort that you've put in for 8 months of work.
Thanks, Rick.
Rick Nolan there talking with Kieran Davis. Revenge is not on his mind. It's not in his vocabulary either. They're there to win a footy match, and they know the team they're going to play are going to be pretty formidable as well, but they've had a good hit out for it tonight.
Yep, he's all about next week now. The job's done. They've got themselves into another grand final, and I do feel for Southern Districts. They copped a lot of injuries during that game, and we're down to no rotations on the bench, and they're still out there at the moment. Shannon Rusker's addressing the players, and there'll be an emotional sort of time because they worked so hard throughout the year to get to this point, to give themselves an opportunity to get in the grand final, and it hasn't quite worked out. But they had a lot of highlights along the way, Charlie.
Yep, they have. They're a disappointed bunch. They walk off the ground, and Southern Districts joyous as they walk off. We've run out of superlatives, haven't we, for St Mary's tonight? We're absolutely impressed by them. It was a wonderful performance.
Yeah, interesting to hear Rick Nolan commit to Luke Barth and Cam Eilert to come in next week. So obviously 2 players have got to come out of this team, and it's going to be a tough decision. But I know Rick doesn't shirk those kind of decisions for the greater good of the club, but just sets up for a sensational game of football. I hope everyone can join us next week.
Hope you can. We'll be back here doing it all again next week. So Charlie King here on behalf of Kieran Davis and Jared Eilert. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the preliminary final. We'll leave you with that final score. St Mary's are through to the grand final against Wanderers next week after defeating the minor premiers Southern Districts by a whopping 74 points. St Mary's home in the preliminary final, 19-13 to the Crocodiles 7-11.